Why? Why is this a marriage contract? Shouldn't the content be something like, watch the enemy and help each other? Yunshi looked at Robin, almost exasperated. He did not know anything about the people in the southern forest. It's a human branch that, like his kingdom, splits from the ancient kingdom of Assyria. However, the ancestor of his kingdom, the original knight, chose the way of knighthood and continued to guard the ruins of ancient Assyria, while the one who was originally the priest fled to the remote southern forest and chose the road of seclusion. They did not exist in the form of a kingdom, but became a separate tribe, and developed a unique witch system. The witches are the incarnation of God and the representatives of the sacred and inviolable God. Witches are not allowed to marry. They guard an ancient covenant and are chosen from the best girls of the tribe. They firmly believe that the witch will become the savior of the world, the noblest existence in the world, and the successor of the truly great Assyria. Now, the covenant tells Yunshi that the witches had made an agreement with the first king long ago, and noted on the back that the covenant had special conditions. Well, it is because marriage is always the most direct and effective means of covenant. Prince, you are already a king. You should understand. Robin looks like she is going to laugh, and seems to be full of sympathy for what Yunshi is going to do next. I know. Yunshi gnawed his teeth and gazed at the marriage contract, which was written many generations ago. But I've never heard of a king marrying a witch, which never happened. There is only one queen of the king. That is the eternal beautiful queen, the great queen of Assyria. As knights, kings have never married other princesses, and there is always only one master in the king's palace. Until his generation, he not only married the queen of Assyria, but also married the daughter of the queen of Assyria, White Moon, not to mention desert dragon Zaka and ice dragon Zaka. He has achieved the epic mission of marrying 4 princesses. Of course, it's because the kings loved the queen so much that they didn't plan to marry the witch. Robin was happy to tell her king that answer. So this covenant has never been used. In fact, according to the records, there were still a few witches who had expressed their affection for the kings. It's just that all the kings were so devoted that they couldn't fulfill this additional condition. Over time, the witches gave up. But you, Prince, you don't have this problem. When it comes to this, Robin smiles even more brilliant. Now you have married 4 princesses, it won't hurt to have more. Hua Yu, Xiao Chao, Lulu, and Xiaomi are all waiting for you. You will be responsible for the Star Wings Knights, right? Robin's words hit Yunshi hard. Robin's critical strike adds fire penetration, frost penetration, and lightning penetration, ignoring Yunshi's defensive resistance. Robin did 10,000 damage to Yunshi. Yunshi conceded. That. You know, it was a special situation, Yunshi is sweating. Well, the situation was special, so we forgive you, but we don't pretend to see nothing. Since you have married 4 princesses, it doesn't matter if we enlarge the palace. Robin's face turned a little red. I'm also a member of the Star Wings Knights. Robin's language caused extra damage to Yunshi. This damage is not included in fire penetration, frost penetration, and lightning penetration. It cannot be neutralized by armor or shield. It's chaos damage that ignores defense. Yunshi surrendered. The world. It's terrible, Yunshi lamented. At this time, if only there were more Lingus petals. If the time can go back to when he just entered the world, he would make a wish with the Linga petal. My parents died when I was a child. No one loves me. No one knows me, and no one will notice me. Unfortunately, there has never been such an option. Prince, you have changed your destiny and made more people happy. This time, please try your best. If there are more princesses, world peace will be around the corner. Robin leads Yunshi a good way away. If I had more wives, I would have died more miserably. Compared with Robin's optimism, Yunshi always feels his future is dark. It is said that the twin witches are gentle and virtuous. They are first-class brides. Robin takes out the professionalism of a matchmaker and introduces Yunshi to his engagement partner. Gentle. Yunshi remembers the beautiful figure holding the red lotus demon sword and burning everything. Virtuous. Die. 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 Red Lotus waved her red lotus demon sword while seeing Yunshi, just like a red demon. Let alone White Lotus, does Red Lotus have anything to do with gentle and virtuous? Well, that's what intelligence says. There should be no mistake. Robin looks at Yunshi strangely. Is he dissatisfied with this marriage contract? The twin witches are heroes with no less reputation than the prince, and they are beauties well known in the whole human world. Marry this pair of witches. Prince, what are you dissatisfied with? The covenant is sacred. Although all the kings have devoted themselves to marrying the Millennium Queen of Assyria, no one has fulfilled the conditions attached to this covenant, but the covenant is a covenant. As long as the prince takes this covenant to propose to the twin witches, the success rate should be 100%. Can I not go? Yunshi looks at Robin with an almost desperate look, as pitiful as a pet going to an animal hospital. Prince, you have no choice. Robin shook her head. Her prophecy has never been wrong. The prince is charged with the mission of saving the world. Since he had married 4 princesses, he was the only one who could carry out the covenant. Perhaps, when the first king and the witches concluded this contract, he did not think that such a rebellious prince would appear in his descendants. If you want to defeat the dragon, you must marry the twin witches and get their power. In the end, Yunshi accepted his fate. Why, I'm just here to beat down the dragon, just to have a cruel and bloody trial of death. Clearly I want to carry out such a great trial, but why did it come to this point? In the forest, Yunshi is advancing through all kinds of difficulties. Today is the 3rd day of his journey alone. In the name of cultivation and seclusion, he temporarily got rid of his 4 princesses and left his kingdom alone to carry out one of the most important trials of the Dragon's War. Goal: to marry the twin witches and gain their power. This is also one of the branch tasks he has to complete. According to Robin, without the power of the twin witches, he will not be able to defeat the terrible original dragon. Indeed, the power of Red Lotus and White Lotus is absolutely strong, which is recognized by his childhood sweetheart, Hua Hua. His childhood sweetheart didn't even praise the first master of the White Lotus Sword domain, the White Lotus Sword Master, who was at the 6th rank. However, she only praises the twin witches. This is the first time Yunshi sees Hua Hua recognizing her peers. Yunshi still doesn't know how strong Hua Hua really is. Her strength is that the stronger you become, the more you can find the gap with her. The only twin witches recognized by Hua Hua also has the god's talent, and it is a special god's talent that Yunshi still does not know. Even his teacher, Casina the battle god, has said that this generation of twin witches in the White Lotus Sword domain is unfathomable and has unlimited potential. Yunshi also believes that if he can get the help of the twin witches, it will be absolutely useful to defeat the terrible dragon. Just, why should we take marriage as the premise? And, before he came to the world, the marriage contract was written. Why has the first king who has been devoted to Her Majesty, the Queen of Assyria, make such a strange agreement with the witches? Yunshi sniffed out the smell of conspiracy and felt the malice of the world line. Well, there must be a choice not to get married. The future can be changed. Yunshi cheers himself on. Didn't he change the future of the kingdom by marrying 4 princesses? Shwa. Yunshi walked out of the dense forest and saw a magnificent river in front of him. Seeing the river, Yunshi couldn't help but think of the memory of sinking into the river with desert dragon Zaka, intertwined with each other, and finally Zaka drowned and fainted. It was just a few days ago, but it gave him a strange feeling of nostalgia. Today's desert dragon Zaka is probably still eating and drinking in the palace. Although she is a bit impatient and has a little deviation in her world outlook, she is the best to get along with and feed amongst the 4 princesses. Take a little rest. Yunshi takes out his kitchen utensils and points to the river at will. A transparent air current pierces the turbulent river, bounces several fish up and falls into Yunshi's hands. Fish, fish, come to my pot. Yunshi cleanly handled the fish and began to take care of his lunch. Originally, as a king, he should take a large team to marry the twin witches. However, if he did, he would have killed himself. The 4 princesses will never let him in the new honeymoon period to marry unknown twin witches. If he dares to say that, Yunshi can imagine what will happen to him. Darling, do you want to eat apples? The Queen of Assyria will prepare delicious apples, which will make him unconscious. Dad, it's not right to be unfaithful. White Moon will call the black flame demon bug and make a big scene. Shaheen, where is my dragon's nest? Yes, sister, I'll kill him for you. Zaka's sisters will go mad in an instant. Originally, it's wrong to marry other princesses when they get married. I am innocent. Yunshi wanted to tell his 4 princesses in tears that he was forced by the terrible dragon. Yes, it's the dragon's fault. Well, the sky looks strange. As soon as he was ready for his lunch, Yunshi found that there was a very strange scene in the sky. The blue sky was covered by countless fire clouds. These fire clouds continue to spread out, almost half of the sky is dyed dark red, and the edge of the fire clouds showing a lava-like dark red. Yunshi has never seen such a burning sky in his life. The creatures on the ground and the fish in the water seem to sense something and start a crazy escape. Rabbits, fawn, cheetah, black bear, all of these animals ran away. The fish in the water gathered together into a huge school of fish, scurrying in the direction of downstream. Some of them even jumped to the shore regardless of the direction, like suicide. Boom! 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 In the burning clouds in the sky, there were sounds of thunder, but there was no lightning at all, as if some terrible natural disaster was breaking out. More and more massive fire clouds appear in the sky, and some of them even start to burn directly. The sky is lit. What a terrible smell. Yunshi finally realized that the force of this natural disaster was not natural, but more like some terrible creature fighting there. What kind of creature can make the sky burn over thousands of miles? And what is this terrible creature fighting with? In a second, all the clouds in the sky suddenly burst into flames. Along with these cascading waves is the roar of a terror creature, which makes the whole sky tremble. Looking down, Yunshi saw the stars falling. It's daytime, but countless stars tear the edge of the sky from the distant sky, smashing the countless crimson ripples in an extremely gorgeous and shocking way. The magnificent and shining scene makes Yunshi feel the great will from the stars. In the starlight, something seems to have been knocked down. Like meteors penetrating the atmosphere, there are huge objects similar to crimson meteorites falling in the distant sky, making a loud sound that Yunshi, who is hundreds of kilometers away, feels that his eardrum is about to break. Where the meteorite fell, there appeared a red mushroom cloud, which seemed to be accompanied by a kind of unwilling roar. In the midst of the blaze, the red light that was spreading from the sky began to dissipate. After about a minute, it completely disappeared. The fire clouds from all directions also all restored the original color. It was just that lava-like crimson color that lasted quite a long time. Both sides of the battle have the power of burning mountains and boiling the sea, and the danger level is no less than that of the bloody wedding not long ago. This continent is indeed a dangerous place. It is far from as simple as it seems. The time when the knights were the highest force on the mainland was long gone. In any case, this is a battle that has been decided. It seems that the person who summoned countless fire clouds and almost ignited the sky was finally defeated by the one who dominated the stars. Yunshi also wants to know who the person is that calls the glory of the stars. However, Yunshi always thinks that maybe things are not so simple. With a trace of curiosity, Yunshi began to move towards the area where the meteor might have fallen. The closer Yunshi gets to the place where the huge object fell, the more he can feel the horror of the battle before. 100 kilometers away from the falling area, the vegetation is still barely in its original shape, and when it is about 80 kilometers away, obvious dehydration symptoms begin to appear. Within 50 kilometers, most of the vegetation leaves are withered, as if they have not been moistened for months in the drought, but this is on the river bank of the largest river in the mainland. By the time he enters the inner ring area about 20 kilometers from the falling area, it is already a complete natural disaster scene. Almost all the plants are dead. Something more terrifying than the hot wind in the desert completely destroys the vitality of these trees. The temperature in the air exceeds 50 degrees, which is an environment that human beings cannot live in. In addition to a very small number of brambles surviving, both plants and animals have been extinct. Moving forward, the environment can only be called hell. The mountain range of flame, Yunshi can only use this word to describe this terrible scenery. River was burned beyond recognition. The forest no longer exists. There is a ring of flaming mountains, with numerous lava flows, as if guarding something, unscrupulously erupted deadly poison gas and flame. The end of the day is probably to describe such a scene. Human beings cannot survive in this environment, only a small number of fire property demons hover in this newly formed volcanic region, and make cheers. But this is not the end. The closer to the falling center of the unidentified object, the faster the temperature rises. When Yunshi stops and can finally observe the falling object, he has to pull out the star wings and protect himself with the power of the star wings. It is a legendary creature that radiates the brilliance of red gemstone. It is a king at the top of the world. It fell into a lava lake about 3 kilometers in size, and its whole body was torn by some terrible force. The heart part has a huge black hole. The edge of the black hole presents a strange star color, not like being hit by a certain weapon, more like this part suddenly disappeared. For human beings, with this kind of injury, they would have been dead for a long time, but the giant was still breathing, even though its heart was taken by unknown forces. Every breath would cause a sudden rise in the surrounding temperature. The absolutely empty part where the heart was constantly absorbing the surrounding lava essence, trying to repair the fatal injury. If it is a general injury, Yunshi believes that it has long been improved. Dragon. Yunshi wiped his eyes again. Red Dragon, a famous branch of the dragon clan, is famous for its impulsive and violent character and its flaming dragon breath. The one in front of Yunshi has the power to control the source of fire, which can be called a king-level crimson dragon. But now it is dying. Even if energy sources continuously extract the molten lava around to repair its own injuries, some mysterious force that penetrates its whole body is still taking away its life. Human, aware of its death, the crimson dragon reluctantly opened its eyes, revealing a tired breath. Do you want to kill me and accomplish the great cause of dragon slaughtering? Are you dying? Yunshi sighed. Although the main task of the world is to fight against the dragon, it should not be the one in front of him. Yes, I am dying. The red dragon looked at its torn wings and its body penetrated by countless arrows of light. The outline of that god weapon came to his mind. The Ring of Stars and Moon, this is the name of that god weapon, the root of her defeat. What broke her wings was a red lotus demon sword. Through her body was the shining ring of stars and moon. What erased her heart was the motto, or karma, launched by the witch in white, ignoring all her defensive resistance. She perhaps can defeat any one of the twin witches, but they will not be separated. When they fight together, even a dragon will be afraid of the power they play with. They, who have opened a door to a higher realm, can even create the miracle of stars falling. This war was a complete and tragic defeat of the Crimson Dragon, even at the cost of its own life. The torn dragon wings can grow back little by little. The penetrated body can also absorb lava essence to repair. However, the lost heart can never recover, because it has been completely captured by the witch in white, and has become the booty of the twin witches. Well, little human, if you want to do it, do it. The dragon closed her eyes and waited for her death. To be able to walk on the ground in this lava lake and have a magic sword. It may not be the worst outcome for her to be killed by such a strong human. Even if the human is an ant in the eyes of the dragon, it is an ant strong enough to threaten the dragon, the king of ants. As for the twin witches, she was sure they were not human beings. She had an honest and upright fight against them, the most formidable enemies. She can't imagine that human beings can be as powerful as the twins. Their eyes gave her a sense that they were not human beings but connected to some kind of great will. That kind of feeling is like, no matter how strong she is, losing in their hands is the absolute destiny which cannot be defied. Are you an evil dragon? Yunshit slowly came to the Crimson Dragon, which was the third and strongest dragon he had ever seen in the world. Yes, I am the most ferocious Crimson Dragon. I should have been the great volcano overlord. Even though her death was approaching, the Crimson Dragon still raised her proud head. Dragons never bow their heads. In the early days, there was only one voice, which was always in high spirits and complacent. Hey, Sister Ice Dragon, Sister Red Dragon, and Sister Black Dragon, I am your elder sister, Desert Dragon Zaka. For you, I will respond to the will of the Great Mother and conquer the world. The barbarians in the north have all surrendered. They have changed their belief in total. From today on, the dragon is their faith. The desert tribes in the west have also surrendered. They are willing to offer sacrifices to our great dragons. Now, there are still the southern tribal areas with witches and the last night kingdom of human beings. Wait. I will defeat the last human resistance because I am invincible. Next, one voice becomes two. Sister, you are in love, how can this be possible? The other party must be a liar, a big liar. Even the quarrel between sisters is so yearning. When listening to the voices of her sisters, she is more eager than ever to break the shell early and fight side by side with her sisters. However, when she ushered in the day of breaking the shell, what she heard was the sad news that her sisters had died. They can no longer respond to the voice of the original dragon, which means that the fire of their lives has withered. Anger, endless anger, covered the heart of the Crimson Dragon. She wants to revenge her sisters. She will continue their unfinished mission, conquering this world. But it was all over. The terrible twin witches, the terrible rings of stars and moon, the thing they are connected to when they fight hand in hand. Consciousness gradually began to sink into the darkness, and finally, the warm lava essence gradually cooled down. Her death is coming. This power. It is. A sound seems to be heard in the ear, and the missing part of the heart appears a little warm. Ah. Wait. Are you? In the whirling of the consciousness, the Crimson Dragon was completely dizzy, but the outline of the world seemed to be enlarged all of a sudden. Yunshi looked stunned at the dragon girl who has become a human posture in front of him. That is a familiar posture, because he has two of the four princesses who have the same face. Zaka. The third, looking at his sister-in-law in theory, Yunshi always felt that the world line of the Dragon War had already deviated by 100,000 kilometers away. Why did the red dragon Zaka suddenly appear in front of him and was dying? That is like a flower just sprouting, although young, but trying to spread their own branches and leaves. A flower that can create a miracle of life replaces the lost heart of red dragon Zaka and builds a new flower with a new core of life for her. At the same time, it is also the proof of the contract. Yunxi did not expect that after calling Linga the holy tree, the green spot left by the unknown existence named Wolfji still remained in his body, and played an important role in this critical moment. The only embarrassment was that his palms seemed unable to move from the chest of Red Dragon Zaka because of these green dots. The soft and smooth skin seemed to stick with his palm. He could even feel the sound of the heartbeat clearly from the palm. Dong! 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 Because she regained her heart, the seemingly incurable body of Red Dragon Zaka began to repair itself bit by bit. About a quarter of an hour later, Red Dragon Zaka coughed, vomited a lot of blood stasis, and opened her weak but no longer dying eyes. The eyes of the red dragon look like the color of volcanic eruption, hot and bright, like the combination of the most beautiful ruby in sunset. You, what are you doing? As soon as she woke up, Red Dragon Zaka found that her strong scales had disappeared, her proud huge body had disappeared, and even her dragon horn had retracted into her body. All over her body, not even a dress. What a shame. What made her angrier is that this human is still kneading her chest. No, don't misunderstand it. I'm trying to save you, Yunxi only wants to cry. Die. Red Dragon Zaka put her hands around Yunxi's neck, and her feet locked his body. She was ready to break his neck. But before she broke Yunxi's neck with both hands, her whole body was suddenly weak. The hands that wanted to break Yunxi's head slid down, and her strong and slender feet did not escape the disaster. The originally fatal move of killing instantly turned into the coquetry between lovers. The culprit for all this is naturally the flower that revived Red Dragon Zaka, the last gift Wolfji left to Yunxi. Red Dragon Zaka, who lost her heart in the battle with the twin witches, would have died. It was because of the mimicry heart formed by this flower that she could survive. The gift was given by Wolfji to Yunxi. How could it do anything to hurt Yunxi? Red Dragon Zaka's counterattack is doomed to be invalid. What have you done to my body? Finds that she has almost lost all her strength. For the first time in her life, Red Dragon Zaka shows her panic like an unarmed mortal girl. Even when she was facing the witch dressed in white, when she fell from the sky, she never had such an expression. Death in the war is not an unacceptable outcome for Red Dragon Zaka. A fall in the battle with super strong enemies like the twin witches is totally acceptable to the Red Dragon. On the contrary, she didn't die and her body fell into an unknown person's hand, and she couldn't do anything. That's the most terrible thing. I didn't do anything. Yunxi really doesn't know how to explain it. He's not a priest. He can't do divine spells such as resurrection, healing, or limb regeneration. His hand is not a silver hand to cure all wounds. What brings Red Dragon Zaka back from the death line is the mysterious existence in the Starwings, which lies on the other side of the River of the Stars. Through the forbidden door opened by Starwings, she sent green dots to help Yunxi connect with the real White Lotus secret treasure and save the dying Red Dragon Zaka. The power level of these green dots is completely beyond Yunxi's imagination limit. So, what is this? Red Dragon Zaka reluctantly raises her hand and points to the part of their bodies that are closely connected. You said that you didn't do anything. What is this? What is this? She is going to cry. Yunxi looked at his sister-in-law, full of grief and anger, and felt helpless. What is this? He doesn't know. Bang! 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 As if feeling some kind of atmosphere between Yunxi and Red Dragon Zaka, the heart formed by the green flower began to beat stronger and stronger. Red Dragon Zaka has also found that as long as she doesn't have hostility to the human in front of her, it seems that her recovery speed will become faster, and her heart will beat more powerful. The only problem is, in this way, her feelings for this human will become deeper, especially the touch of that evil claw holding down her mountain peak. Damn it! With the beat of her heart, even if Yunshi doesn't move a finger, his hand still moves with the rhythm of the heartbeat. Each jump represents the breath of life, which is the most beautiful sound in the world and the most exciting arc. Finally, at a certain point, Red Dragon Zaka's eyes regain their original self-confidence. The wounds are all healed. She is recovered. Now she can be in combat again. Transformation. Red Dragon Zaka, whose vitality is fully restored, is ready to transform back to her dragon posture and eat the human who dares to attack her. However, the familiar feeling of the world getting smaller didn't appear. The instinct to change back to the real dragon posture has failed. Why? Red Dragon Zaka's eyes are burning with flames that can burn through the sky. Her combat effectiveness has been restored to the best state. With the power of the source of fire, she absorbed all the lava essence around her. She should have recovered. How dare this human to rub her chest? Die, die, die. Why don't you die, oh? Air. Is the heart okay? Looking at Red Dragon Zaka, who seems to have recovered to a lively state, Yunshi can't help but sigh at the dragon's fatality. The kind of injury actually recovered in less than an hour. If her heart had not disappeared, she would have recovered without his help. No wonder a dragon is a legendary creature at the top of the food chain of the endless gods' domains. Heart. At this time, Red Dragon Zaka finally realized that her current situation was abnormal. She clearly remembers that her heart was wiped from her body by the witch in white with extremely terrible means, and finally, she suffered a tragic defeat. Even though she is a dragon, she can't survive without a heart. It is almost impossible to damage the heart of the dragon. Unable to change back to the giant red dragon pose, Zaka can feel the high agitation of her chest and the damned evil claws. Her heart has lost, so what is beating in her chest now? What is this object that makes a powerful sound, that is constantly fluctuating and shrinking in her chest? Red Dragon Zaka knew instinctively that without this object, she would have died. Bang! 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 Yunshi's palm almost recorded every detail of Red Dragon Zaka's towering chest. After that, the parts close to each other finally separated. However, a transparent green silk thread remained on Yunshi's fingertips and Red Dragon Zaka's bud tips, which took a while to disappear. Boom! The Red Dragon Zaka's flaming flame soared into the sky, and then quickly woven into a gorgeous dress. It was a princess skirt with bright colors and multiple red and black lace. It was no problem to say that it was the queen's dress. Like a dragon horn, the crystal crown on Red Dragon Zaka's head is indescribably noble. The front part of the chest, the bow woven out of the red ribbon, is just right to cover the chest, giving people a faint sense of temptation. Under the high skirt is a pair of nearly perfect jade-like legs. The small jade feet are stepping on a pair of high-heeled shoes with red glass heels, which makes Red Dragon Zaka's height increase a few points, although even then, her height is only to reach the neck position of Yunshi. You, what have you done to my heart? Finally, Red Dragon Zaka, who finally weaves his magic costume, presses her chest nervously, feeling the familiar and strange beating sound, and her mind is blank. I think it is a flower there. Yunshi doesn't know what's going on. He still had the strength of Ji in his body, and helped the dying Red Dragon Zaka build a flower that could replace the heart, which was far beyond his expectation. Flower. Red Dragon Zaka closed her eyes and felt the leaping sound inside her body with all her strength. She soon saw the flower. Full of the color of life, an incredible flower. The green petal connects her blood vessels and nerves, and each contraction is completely synchronized with the rhythm of her body. Only a glance to know that it is this flower instead of her own heart, to save her from the brink of death. What a wonderful flower! It's not any magic or divine spell that Red Dragon Zaka knows. This is the same level of power as the Great Mother, and only such power can pull her back from the abyss of death. It was a gift from a friend of mine, and now it's your heart. Yunshi describes the truth closest to the truth in the simplest language possible. Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunshi and doesn't know whether to continue to kill him, or to follow the principle of the dragon and repay the benefactor who saved her life. She is not a wild dragon with no breeding, but a Zaka, bred by the original dragon, the present Red Dragon Princess, the future Red Dragon Queen, and one of the four masters of the world. After careful thinking and reasoning, Red Dragon Zaka raised her proud head. Little human, I will fulfill a wish of yours, with a time limit of 10 years. No matter what kind of wish, you can make a wish to me. If you want gold and silver, or become a king and marry all the princesses, it's no problem. In front of you is the great dragon who is going to dominate the world. In 10 years, you can have everything in the world. After 10 years, I'll eat you. Well, according to the logic of the dragon, 10 years is just a time to sleep. It's perfect to satisfy each other's wish to let him enjoy the luxury life of doing whatever he wants and then eat him. This is a red dragon, this is Zaka. Are you sure? Yunshi looks at the confident red dragon Zaka, his third and fourth princess's sister. It's been detected a long time ago. It's only now that he can be sure. The four heavenly kings under the evil dragon, namely the four sisters of Zaka, are capricious in many subtle places. But even so, they have a unique charm that they never lie. This is true of Desert Dragon Zaka, Ice Dragon Zaka, and Red Dragon Zaka. It's a group of straightforward and somewhat even lovely dragons. Yes, as long as it is a wish that I can fulfill, it will be realized. Red Dragon Jia shook her own dragon horn crystal crown with a proud look. Even if I want to marry you. Yunshi didn't know why he suddenly said this sentence. Maybe he was also influenced by the Zaka sisters, and his IQ dropped seriously. Ga. Red Dragon Zaka looks as if she is petrified in a flash. Zaka's logical reasoning system starts calculus. The wish that she can realize, whether it includes marrying a human being. Including, it's not something she can't do, and if it's only 10 years, it'll be over soon. Do I have to fulfill my promise? It must be fulfilled. Red Dragon Zaka is the great Red Dragon Princess and the future Red Dragon Queen. She will do what she says. Can I accept marrying a human being? Absolutely not. Why would the great Red Dragon Zaka marry an ant-like human being? Human beings have killed her two sisters, they are her enemies. So, do I have to realize his wish? Yes, but, absolutely not. Ding. There are logic contradictions and data cyclic redundancy errors. Red Dragon Zaka's head crashed. Eat you, eat you, eat you. Marry you, marry you, marry you. Obviously, Red Dragon Zaka inherits the tradition of the great four sisters of Zaka and is very easy to get into a state of chaos when dealing with things that are too complicated. After a while, Red Dragon Zaka's eyes were already full of confusion, holding her head in her hands and looking at Yunshi with an extremely fierce and hesitant look. It looks like a beast ready to kill its prey and a girl looking at her lover. This is the first time that Yunshi sees someone who can mix these two kinds of expressions on their face. She is really a fierce and lovely girl. In order to avoid burning his sister-in-law's mind out because of excessive thinking, Yunshi felt that the joke should be over. It's enough for him to marry Desert Dragon Zaka and Ice Dragon Zaka. He doesn't want to gather together the four dragons. Even if he had collected the four Zaka sisters together, it would only be at the rage of the most terrible dragons waiting for him. It's just a joke. Don't mind. I don't want you to return anything. You are free. Yunshi tries to smile gently, ready to coax Red Dragon Zaka, who is a little bit grumpy. Compared with her sisters, her temperament seems to be particularly impatient. Should he say that, no wonder she is the red dragon incarnated by fire? Joke. Red Dragon Sokka doesn't think so. It is impossible for ordinary human beings to dare to refuse a dragon's wishes. That is to say, the proposal just now is real. How dare this human being propose to a dragon? Sure enough, I should eat him. Red Dragon Sokka licked her lips. From the beginning, she felt that the human being in front of her was very delicious food. What kind of taste is it? Red Dragon Sokka can't describe it in words. In her memory, she has never smelt such a sweet and delicious smell. Just smelling him makes her intoxicated. If she licks and tastes him, she will be more reluctant to stop. Goo! Red Dragon Sokka's stomach suddenly became hungry. I want to eat him. The world's most delicious food may be in front of me. Red Dragon Sokka can't help it. Hungry. Yunshi snapped his finger, and the hero-ranked baker's ability was launched. A golden bread with soft golden light, wheat flavor, and rich cream flavor appears in Yunshi's hand, which is one of the 100 limited loaves of bread in his bread storeroom. This ability is an additional ability of his own hero rank, so it can be used even in the trial world, while the light refining furnace, the water god's 3 god weapons, and Hydra's wine cannot appear in this trial world. Of course, if he can integrate the light refining furnace and Hydra's wine into his soul like star wings, they can also be used like the bread storeroom, which he can't do at present. Bread. Is it edible? Red Dragon Sokka looks at the bread in Yunshi's hands with disgust. She is not a herbivorous dragon. Feeding bread to her is like an insult. Compared with bread, it's better to eat human beings. It's strange to say that she doesn't eat intelligent creatures. However, she is always full of appetite when she sees this little human in front of her. Try it. Yunshi guides the hungry red dragon Sokka by coaxing. Just take a bite. It doesn't matter. Well, I will just take a bit, this bread doesn't look good. Hungry red dragon Sokka tore a small piece of the golden bread and put it in her mouth. The next second, her cheeks instantly suffused with excitement, and even the snow-white skin in the red bow gap was dyed with lovely scarlet. What's that taste? Too strange, why just eat such a small piece of bread, I will feel warm all over the body. No, it's not warm. It's hot. Bang! 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 The heart beat fiercely, cheering, demanding more of these ingredients. By the way, this kind of smell is the kind of smell that she smelled on the human body in front of her eyes, with the smell of his soul and life. It's so delicious, so incredible that it's melting the tongue and heart together. She wants more of these ingredients, she wants to eat more. Ah-hoo! Red Dragon Sokka grabs Yunshi's golden bread and takes a big bite. At the same time, she stares at Yunshi with a look that makes Yunshi feel very wary. She should like it very much. Yunshi is still confident in his highest masterpiece, which is the golden bread that even the twin witches and the Golden Crow Princess praised. Just why does she look at him so covetously? Seems to be more than just eating the delicious bread. Yunshi has seen this kind of eyes in the pupil of Desert Dragon Sokka. They really are sisters of the same family. They are also very similar at this point. She bit Yunshi's golden bread in a wild animal way. Red Dragon Sokka revealed her small fangs, which could even crunch steel. Unimaginably delicious, that is a wonderful feeling from the tip of the tongue to the depth of the heart. Not only taste but also vision, touch, hearing have been greatly enjoyed. While biting the bread, it seems that she can see countless golden brilliance wrapped in herself. It is so warm and so comfortable that the fatigue after the battle with the twin witches disappeared without a trace, and even her toes were stretched straight because of strong stimulation. Ah, there is such delicious food in the world. This is Red Dragon Zaka's exclamation, and at the same time, she can't help hesitating again. How about raising this human as an edible pet? Eat him a little bit every day, and eat a little more in the festival. If I can't eat him every day, then lick him every day to meet her appetite. Whether he is poor or rich, health or disease, she will protect him, take care of him, and regard him as her most important treasure. On sunny days, she would take him out for a walk. On rainy days, she would let him lie on her feet and lick her toes. When eating him, she will try to be gentle and careful, and will not hurt him. Well, it seems to be a good idea. Why don't I do it like this? Yunshi is staring at Red Dragon Zaka, who is eating his bread at a, not ladylike at all, speed. Isn't this exaggeration? Have you been hungry for several days and nights? Ga. After swallowing the last piece of bread, Red Dragon Zaka stared at Yunshi with a fierce look. The atmosphere, for a time, became particularly dangerous. Correct, as the benefactor who saved my life, I give you the noblest position in the world. Youth, be my pet. Ha. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka with a look of, what's wrong with the world? Sure enough, Zaka's thinking loop is not right. Why? It's just a piece of bread. How can it make you think this way? What dissatisfaction do you have? As a reward for saving my life, I have been extremely tolerant. What is your dissatisfaction? To be my pet, you can have everything you want. That proposal is not counted in. Red Dragon Zaka's face turned red. It was thoughtless of her that she said any wish could be realized just now. Wealth, status, princess, you can have them all. As long as you are my pet, you can have them. When necessary, let me have a taste. Speaking of this, Red Dragon Zaka feels hungry again. Without that mysterious ingredient, she would die. I can give you bread, but I won't be your pet. Yunshi looks at the wayward Red Dragon Zaka, and takes out his precious golden bread. Ah hoo! With a flash of red shadow, the bread in Yunshi's hand only survived in the air for 3 seconds and then entered Red Dragon Zaka's mouth. This bread, not bad at all. Red Dragon Zaka had long forgotten her original intention. Bang! 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 The flower that makes up the heart releases waves of joy and happiness that spread throughout Zaka's body. A heart can change everything. Red Dragon Zaka, with a new heart, also has a different sense of taste, smell, and touch. That's why she couldn't resist the smell of Yunshi, and she didn't know anything about it. Be my pet. I'll take good care of you. After enjoying the bread tribute full of Yunshi's ingredients, Red Dragon Zaka began to pester Yunshi, constantly trying to persuade him to become her pet. No. Yunshi didn't intend to be this girl's pet. As a man who has married 2 Zakas, he knows better than anyone the horror of Zaka, which can easily destroy the existence of heaven and earth. Why? Be my pet, you can have everything. As long as you always accompany me, you can be happier than the king of mankind without doing anything. Red Dragon Zaka doesn't know what the meaning of giving up is. She had never met anyone who would refuse her. She's Zaka. She's a confident and proud dragon. She doesn't allow the world to have things she can't get. If Yunshi didn't taste so good, she wouldn't let him be her own pet. Her initial preparation was to give him 10 years of free life and then bite him to death. I don't need that desire, and being your pet doesn't do me any good. Yunshi felt that his 4 princesses had already made him suffer enough. If he entangled with this Zaka, he would be doomed. So, now, it's best to separate. My disobedient pet should be punished. Red Dragon Zaka had never been so angry in her life, and she revealed her fierce look. Even if she can't become a real dragon, she has 100,000 ways to solve Yunshi. Dragon Eye. With one hand on her left eye, Red Dragon Zaka's vertical pupil releases an amazing amount of pressure, causing the surrounding temperature to rise in a straight line. The power of Dragon Eye completely blocked Yunshi's body and formed a huge cage. Be my pet, or die. It's a powerful declaration, but it's strange that Yunshi don't feel the pressure at all. Ga. Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Eye has not lasted for 3 seconds. With a burst of chest pain, her whole body froze. How can the flower that makes up her heart, the gift from LoveLore, let her hurt Yunshi? It is the part missing from the other side of the starry sky, the fragment of the highest wing. You bastard, what curse have you laid on me? Red Dragon Zaka, who was aware of her heart mutation, raised her right hand. A huge dragon claw shadow appears behind her. Even if she can't change back to a real dragon, Zaka has the power to destroy the earth and the sky. However, she had just left Yunshi about 2 meters away, and suddenly she had a spasm and her body had a whirling fall. At the same time, Yunshi also felt something wrong. He raised his fingertips and saw a faint, transparent green silk thread connecting himself to the heart region of Red Dragon Zaka. The line is about 1 meter long, almost the same as Red Dragon Zaka's height. Yunshi vaguely remembered when his palm left Red Dragon Zaka's chest, he saw this line. It's just why the line, which had already disappeared, suddenly appears again. Ga. How painful. My heart, Red Dragon Zaka gasped. The originally beating heart almost completely stopped. This feeling. It's almost the same as the time when the witch in white wiped out her heart. Only, such a little distance. Yunshi looks at the line connecting his fingertip and Red Dragon Zaka's heart in amazement and instantly knows the meaning of this line. It's the distance of Red Dragon Zaka's life. If Red Dragon Zaka goes beyond the distance of this line, the flower in her heart will not work. This flower is not a thing of the world, but a miracle condensed through Yunshi's body. If Red Dragon Zaka left beyond the limit of the distance, she would be dying. If the time be longer, she would really die. For Yunshi and Red Dragon Zaka, the 1 meter distance is like a line between life and death. It's like a curse that connects 2 lives. Walking to Red Dragon Zaka, who looks like she will die in a moment, Yunshi hesitantly puts his hand on her chest and feels the warm, meat-steamed bun again. Bang! Red Dragon Zaka's heartbeat was restored instantly. Poo-ha! Even her breath stopped for a time. Red Dragon Zaka breathed out her breath and looked at her chest with fear in her eyes. Then her expression became extremely complicated. She feels angry, of course. She feels fear too. Just now, she almost returned to the embrace of the original dragon just like her sisters. After confirming the recovery of Red Dragon Zaka's heartbeat, Yunshi's hand immediately left her chest. However, the warm and elastic hand feel could never be forgotten. How can there be such a curse? Red Dragon Zaka quickly understood what had happened to her. The distance of only 1 meter has become the boundary between life and death. As long as she leaves this distance, the flower in her chest will no longer move, which is equivalent to her heart stopping. Although the heart formed by this flower is an accident, for the proud Red Dragon Princess, can only live in a distance of more than 1 meter from a human is the cruelest punishment in the world. Sorry. I can't help it. After confirming the limit distance of the invisible transparent line, Yunshi shook his head helplessly. The power that unites the heart of Red Dragon Zaka's heart is not his own power but the blessing of LoveLore. This flower has saved Red Dragon Zaka from the brink of death, replacing her original heart and tying her to his side. If Red Dragon Zaka leaves the limit distance of this line, her heart will stop suddenly, which is the price of her resurrection. With this line, Yunshi can easily control the life and death of Red Dragon Zaka. As long as she crosses the limit distance, she will die. Of course, Yunshi would not have made such a choice. After all, she is the sister of his two princesses, the third Zaka. However, he did not know what to do. The flower in the heart of Red Dragon Zaka was not something he could make. This flower from LoveLore is a blessing to him, but a curse to Red Dragon Zaka. The existence of this flower maintained her life, but also tied her firmly to his side. I don't believe it. Obviously, she was on the verge of death again, but Red Dragon Zaka was not willing to lose, so she turned and ran. As a result, the familiar scene appeared. Only 2 steps away from Yunshi, Red Dragon Zaka fell down. Her whole body twitches, her eyes are blank, the function of the heart part is completely out of order, the blood is almost coagulated. She is almost as rigid as the corpse. Without the operation of LoveLore flower, Red Dragon Zaka, who has lost her heart, is half a dead person. In this state, she is only a layer of paper away from death. In addition to her warm body, she can hardly move her fingers. If Yunshi wants to do something to her at this time, he can do whatever he wants, and she can't even call out. No words can describe Red Dragon Zaka's mood now. Yunshi once again pressed Red Dragon Zaka's plump and elastic, meat-steamed bun, activating the flower that had automatically entered the dormant state again. Bang! Although it's only 10 seconds, it's like going back from the border of death for Red Dragon Zaka. At the moment of dying, Red Dragon Zaka recalled her life. The darkness in the dragon egg, the joy of birth, the excitement when hearing sisters' voices. When she recalled her sister's last words before going to the human kingdom, the world suddenly returned to color. Hearing the sound of her heartbeat again, even if she knew that it was just a fake thing, Red Dragon Zaka was full of gratitude for life. It's wonderful to be alive. Even if it is the curse of living, it is also 100 times better than death, no, 1,000 times. That silent world of endless darkness is really terrible. Haha, Red Dragon Zaka, who touched death for the 3rd time, finally learned her lesson. Leave this human side, she will die. This is the blessing and curse given by LoveLore's flower. Her life, from the moment her heart was replaced by this green flower, was bound to Yunshi. Yunshi is alive and she will be alive. Yunshi dies, and she will die, too. The invisible but real line, like the shackles of fate, tied the powerful Red Dragon Zaka to Yunshi. She can't hurt Yunshi, who can do anything to her. She doesn't even have the right to escape. The last gift left by LoveLore is such a wonderful flower. It is not limited to Red Dragon Zaka, but any powerful creature who appears around Yunshi and is seriously injured. LoveLore's blessing is to give Yunshi a powerful guard, or pet. Red Dragon Zaka is determined to let Yunshi, who smells good, become her pet, totally unaware that the positions of both sides are actually opposite. The heart is replaced by LoveLore's flowers. The thread connecting life is wrapped around Yunshi's fingertips. She is the pet LoveLore found for Yunshi. Yunshi didn't realize it. He was just worrying. I have a giant dragon tied by me, and she can't leave the distance of 1 meter. What should I do? This distance means eating together, sleeping together, bathing together. There will be no privacy between the 2 parties. Apart from Pafu, there is no other creature closer to Yunshi than Red Dragon Zaka. But Pafu is small enough to hide. Where to hide a dragon? Pafu. Pafu seems to have heard Yunshi's heart thinking and then find the seemingly delicious target. Pafu. In the laughter, Pafu jumps onto the depressed Red Dragon Zaka and goes straight into her chest. What is this? The great dragon, the Red Dragon Princess, was knocked down by Pafu and suffered a shameful defeat. No, no. Red Dragon Zaka, who is seemingly fearless, made a cry for help. Yunshi couldn't believe that the tender and pitiful voice was from that strong and domineering girl who almost ate him just now. It seems that Pafu is just like the natural enemy of Red Dragon Zaka. No, no way. No, don't go in. Woo woo. Red Dragon Zaka, who is curiously pasted on the lower edge of her breasts by Pafu, shows a face that is totally helpless. If it is normal, the body of a weak creature like slime will evaporate before it gets close to Red Dragon Zaka, and it is impossible to touch the skin of Red Dragon Zaka. This weakness stems from an unknown secret of Red Dragon Zaka during the Dragon Egg period. It was a night when her sister, Desert Dragon Zaka, was born. One night when she went out to conquer the world, her dragon egg was wrapped by a slime that had accidentally entered the dragon's nest. Up to now, Red Dragon Zaka doesn't know how the transparent slime got into the giant dragon's nest, and accurately found her dragon egg and covered it. It seems that Red Dragon Zaka's egg is very warm and suitable for slimes to absorb energy and split. For 3 days and 3 nights, Red Lotus Zaka's egg was occupied by this unsolicited slime, and then gave birth to many small slimes. During this period, Red Dragon Zaka experienced the darkest moment in her life. Although the slime could not hurt her, the feeling of being swallowed by transparent and cold objects made her have many nightmares. Yes, Red Dragon Zaka has slime phobia, which has nothing to do with strength. It's a nightmare-like experience. Under normal conditions, no slime can approach her, and in this way, she completely blocks the intersection between slimes and herself. Until now, with Pafu pasted on Red Dragon Zaka's chest in its unique way of greeting, and began to draw the soft and full outline according to some instinct, so as to be used by the great artist, in the future. Well, this is a good Pafu who works hard and keeps collecting data for the great future of its master. It's just that for Red Dragon Zaka, it's a complete nightmare. She stretched out her hands and tried to crush the uninvited strange slime, but just like when she wanted to attack Yunshi, the green flower in her heart was very intelligent in judging Pafu as an accessory of Yunshi, and she was not allowed to exert any force at all. As a result, the strength of fingers that could have crushed steel turned into feeble kneading, which was no different from kneading one's own chest. Pafu! Pafu! Pafu even took the initiative to enjoy the Red Dragon Princess's finger kneading, and began to record more body data about Red Dragon Zaka. Everything is for the master's great art. Since it was used as a good-looking and practical doll-making tool last time, Pafu has been a very qualified artist assistant. Pafu, don't play. In the end, Yunshi took Pafu back from Red Dragon Zaka's chest. Pafu. Pafu, who has completed the task, constantly changes the shape and temperature in the palm of Yunshi, and almost perfectly simulates the touch of Red Dragon Zaka's meat-steamed bread. Whether it is needed or not needed, it can ensure that the actual experience of Red Dragon Zaka can be restored 100%. By the way, while Yunshi was still in the palace, Pafu had completed the database establishment of the Queen of Assyria, White Moon, Desert Dragon Zaka, Ice Dragon Zaka, and all the girls of the Starwings Knights. That is to say, as long as Yunshi wants, Pafu can simulate all the data of the girls, ranging from the size of the chest to the length of the toes, even the smallest details. Keep that monster away from me. Red Dragon Zaka gritted her teeth and looked at Pafu, who had disappeared under Yunshi's clothes, with an expression of bitter hatred on her face. She has never been so humiliated since she hatched out of the egg. Why hasn't slime disappeared from the world? When she was seen like this, she just wanted to kill people and wipe out all the evidence. The great master of fire, the Red Dragon Princess, will be afraid of slime. It is the deepest black history of her life. Pafu is not a bad boy. Yunshi is embarrassed to excuse his pet. In addition to mimicry and element absorption, Pafu has almost no special ability, and can be regarded as the most harmless pet for a human. It doesn't even need Yunshi to feed. It can live by absorbing free elemental particles in the air. If necessary, it can also be used as a special armor. I hate you. Why did you come to save me? If possible, it should be at least the Prince of Mankind who comes to save me. Red Dragon Sokka is desperate about her future. The great Red Dragon Princess, even if she is about to die, still maintains her dignity and pride, but fell into such a pervert's hand. Not only this human is abnormal, but his pet is also abnormal. Why is it a slime? In this world, no one will take slime, the weakest monster, as a pet. It has no intelligence at all. It can only breed by instinct. It is a low-level monster that will not obey the orders of human beings. In contrast, she is a giant dragon at the top of the pyramid of the food chain, a red dragon princess destined to dominate the world in the future. Compared with the weakest slime, she is worthy of the name of the strongest legendary creature. No one would have thought that the biggest nightmare of the strongest red dragon princess is the weakest slime. With this weakest monster as a pet, this human is her natural enemy, and there is no worse result. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Sokka and wants to say that the prince of the human kingdom is actually in front of you and has married your two sisters. However, considering that it's not suitable to tell the truth at this time, Yunshi thinks it's better to give this proud Red Dragon Princess a little hope. Worst of all. After being attacked by Pafu, Red Dragon Sokka's hostility to the human in front of her instantly reaches the maximum. The kind of eyes that seem to be cannibalism makes Yunshi unconsciously have the illusion that he is being watched by the most fierce beast. No, it's not an illusion. Red Dragon is the ultimate creature at the top of the food chain pyramid. Although Yunshi doesn't think she will really eat people, at this distance, there should be no chance to escape from the next dragon bite. Raising a monster that you can't control. Is that how it feels? However, this is a monster with a beautiful face, a proud figure, and whose identity is his princess's sister. Then, in this case, after deliberation, Yunshi felt that it was still necessary to improve the relationship between the two sides. He can't get rid of this relationship. LoveLore's power is not within the scope of his understanding now. For a foreseeable period of time, he could only be with her in such a wonderful way. Not only was Red Dragon Sokka not used to it, but he was also a little nervous. From birth to now, even Hua Hua has never been so intimate with him. We'd better get along well. I'll find a way to change the situation as soon as possible. Gaho. Angry Red Dragon Sokka stares at Yunshi, walks up and bites Yunshi's arm. Originally, this was a ferocious killing with one hit, but unfortunately, under the condition of the contract, this seemingly fierce attack turned out to be like throwing herself into a trap. When she stepped on the ground, Red Dragon Sokka still had a bit of stateliness, but when she fell on Yunshi and bit his arm, the bite force was so weak that it could not even break a paper. Instead of biting, it's more like a big pet pouncing on its owner and licking its owner. Oh, don't move around. Yunshi helplessly looks at Red Dragon Sokka and feels the elasticity of the giant chest and the mouth that gently holds and bites his arm. He feels that it's like having a willful and coquettish pet. Woohoo! Red Dragon Sokka bites and bites. Since the arm is not good, she would look for a softer, more lethal place and bite it. Unfortunately, even if Yunshi allows her to bite the softest part of his body, it will not produce any damage value at all but will give Yunshi a feeling of healing. As the sun sets, Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Sokka, who has bitten him for a long time and has soaked his clothes, showing a speechless expression. You really bite so tenaciously. This spirit is really like your sister, Desert Dragon Sokka. We have to leave tomorrow. Don't be so ridiculous. After touching Red Dragon Sokka's head, Yunshi closed her eyes, ignoring her strange expression of biting his fingers and licking him. tired, really tired. He always feels that too many things have happened today. He really wants to sleep. Anyway, she won't really hurt herself. Let her stay by my side until I can solve this problem. What a shame. What a shame. Red Dragon Zaka couldn't believe her eyes when she looked at Yunshi, who was sleeping beside her. An angry dragon was sleeping beside him, and the human could sleep so sweetly. You will regret it. Red Dragon Zaka gritted her teeth and looked at Yunshi, who was in a dream. However, she could not help it, her stomach made a sound of goo. Something's wrong. This is not right. She's not her greedy sister, Desert Dragon Zaka. How could she be hungry so soon? Not long ago, she had a full stomach. How could she be hungry so fast? Why, just looking at this human, her appetite and some other desire will continue to increase. Obviously, I hate this kind of abnormal human. Bang! 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 She thinks so, but her body doesn't react that way. Her heart told her that it was a very, very delicious thing, a very, very beautiful thing, which made her want to get closer. Just try the taste, that's all. Red Dragon Zaka licks her lips. Why does she bite Yunshi? In addition to venting her anger, the smell that Yunshi has been emitting is also one of the important reasons, only she firmly refuses to admit it. Ah-hoo! Like biting a piece of soft bread, Red Dragon Zaka bit Yunshi's body again. Soft and fragrant, it is not the taste of human flesh and blood at all, but another kind of taste that just would make her immerse in it. No. Zaka. Don't. Yunshi, sleepy, reaches out and hugs Red Dragon Zaka, who has bitten the wrong place. Woo! Before Red Dragon Zaka could resist, the flower from the heart region robbed her of her ability to move, leaving Yunshi at his disposal to explore her delicate body under her red dress. His hands skillfully untied the bow on Red Dragon Zaka's chest, and then grasped the upper edge of her proud mountain, gently kneaded and pinched. Ah well. Red Dragon Zaka's eyes were moist, and her body began to cooperate with Yunshi's hands. Why is this guy so familiar with my body? That's because, on the wedding night, your sister, Desert Dragon Zaka, was so shy and curious like you. With her feet kicking Yunshi's body, Red Dragon Zaka struggled desperately, but Yunshi seemed to have been familiar with the law of Zaka's resistance. Just turning over, he easily suppressed Red Dragon Zaka's tiny resistance. Smelling the familiar and strange fragrance, Yunshi gently sticks out his tongue and bites Red Dragon Zaka's ear. The moment Yunshi bit her ear, Red Dragon Zaka's whole body trembled, as if there were countless electric currents spreading in her body, and her resistance evaporated instantly. The tiny and lovely toes stretched straight at once, and her breath became short in an instant. The shy face was like the sunset glow in the sky. How did you know that this is my weakness? Naturally, that's because your sisters are like this. No matter how they resist, as long as I bite here, they will become obedient. Oh, don't. Well, even the sound of entreat is exactly the same. Which Zaka is it? Is it the curious, active desert dragon Zaka, or reluctant ice dragon Zaka, who would be excited only when she is with her sister? Yunshi had a strange dream. A dream about the wedding night with Desert Dragon Zaka, Ice Dragon Zaka, hot and hot, sweet and sweet. In the first half of the dream, it is exactly the same as the wedding night. To be exact, it was Desert Dragon Zaka taking Ice Dragon Zaka to his king's room at night, and then something happened. That's what happened the night Yunshi married 4 princesses. However, in the latter half of the dream, Yunshi found that Zaka's face became very familiar. It was not Desert Dragon Zaka, Ice Dragon Zaka, nor Red Dragon Zaka, but a face he would never forget. His childhood sweetheart, Hua Hua. Moreover, it is the Hua Hua that is showing terror and murderous look, with a huge magic weapon on his neck. Little Shi, you big fool. When the sword fell, Yunshi opened his eyes in cold sweat. Dream, was it just a dream? Yunshi wipes the sweat off his forehead. Hua Hua doesn't exist in this world. Even if there is one, her identity should be an unknown young girl, just like the side quest of Brave Girl Fights Dragon before. Now, Yunshi can't face his first love. What happened in this trial is really bad. Go, you bastard. Falling beside Yunshi, Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunshi with a lifeless expression. The marks on her body are not caused by dew. Zakas. How can there be so many ways to play with people in the world? This pervert is proficient in them. With only one hand, he can let her know that there are countless weaknesses in her body. Sobbing, I can't get married. I have been impure. Why are you sweating so much? Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka and smells a very good smell from her. It's a kind of smell that people can't help but want to ravage, like the smell of Desert Dragon Zaka and Ice Dragon Zaka. Well, I can't think about it anymore. It's all your fault. It's all the world's fault. Red Dragon Zaka felt tears of humiliation. I'm really fed up with it. Why did I encounter such a pervert? Why wasn't the handsome prince in the story told by her sister Desert Dragon Zaka who came to save her? If the world is wrong, change the world. Yunshi shares Red Dragon Zaka's heartfelt complaint. The world of Dragon Trial is really too bad, and it may get worse and worse if I stay on. It's better to finish this trial and beat down the strongest dragon in the legend. Otherwise, he will no longer be a gentleman. The position of king is not suitable for him at all. Just seeing the 4 monster princesses in his own palace, Yunshi felt like he's walking on thin ice. Really, if he continues to be this king, his life will be very short. Right, the world is wrong, not me. I will fight to the end. Red Dragon Zaka called out and bit Yunshi's arm. I'm not telling you to. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka hanging on his arm and felt both funny and annoyed. He doesn't know if it's an illusion. It seems that Red Dragon Zaka's ferocity has increased a lot, but Yunshi feels that her intimacy with him has increased. It wasn't just her, he felt better about her. Is it because the Zaka sisters are very similar? Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka's eyes, face, and the outline of her chest, and feels familiar. Her small ears, as well as the arc on her chest, can be easily depicted even with his eyes closed. If he had the materials in hand, he should be able to make puppets of the 3 sisters of Zaka, showing their own characteristics. Desert Dragon Zaka is a girl who comes and goes like wind with the wild breath of the desert. Ice Dragon Zaka is the crystallization of the ice and snow world for thousands of years, calm and confident. Red Dragon Zaka is a girl full of passion and strength, like a flame, proud and never knowing how to surrender. They all have their own characteristics, but in some parts, they are surprisingly similar, just like triplets, with wonderful charm. In detail, even some of the body's contours have incredible similarities, almost no difference. Maybe I really have the artistic talent to be a puppet maker. Yunshi, who has finished modeling Red Dragon Zaka in his mind, began to seriously consider whether he would like to have a part-time job. No, don't look at me with that dirty look. Red Dragon Zaka, who found Yunshi staring at some parts of her body that he shouldn't have, showed an extremely angry look. Last night, it was this guy who, with his shameless hands, did something like this and that to her and let her step into the unknown world for the first time. Now, would he do more evil to her with that dirty look in his eyes? No, absolutely not. How can the proud Red Dragon Princess yield to this abnormal claw? If he dares to do that again, she will spit at him. Dear, don't monkey around. Let's travel together. Yunshi always felt that now he seemed to be more familiar with the proud princess in front of him. Her anger's not so serious as it seems. Like Ice Dragon Zaka, who was cold and dismissive to him at first. After the wedding night, it seems that her attitude is still as bad as in the past, but the eyes have become a little soft. Red Dragon Zaka seems to have inherited some of the characteristics of the Zaka sisters. At first, they were very, very difficult to get along with. But if you can get familiar with them, you will find that they are actually straightforward girls who can't even lie. This is as like as 2 peas of his childhood sweetheart, Hua Hua. When he first met Hua Hua, she was so indifferent and inhumane. She was more difficult to get along with than Ice Dragon Zaka, as if she had isolated herself from the world. In retrospect, at that time, he thought he had met the beauty of ice. That's when Hua Hua first came to the town, when Yunshi had not met Yili, Milei, Phyllis, and often played with other boys and girls in the town. The first time he saw Hua Hua, he felt like something was cutting her off from the world. Where does this lady come from? The first time they saw Hua Hua, they were shocked. They had never seen such a cold and beautiful girl. All over her body, there was a sense of not being allowed to approach. No one dared to talk to Hua Hua. The young girls born in the small town instinctively knew that she was a noble lady. Even if they scraped the edge of her skirt, they will be ruined. Yunshi is the only one who has the fearless heart of an ignorant person. He dares to talk to Hua Hua, who is not an ordinary person at a glance. As for the reason, Yunshi doesn't understand. He just feels that he can't leave Hua Hua alone in the street. In the end, Yunshi successfully entered Hua Hua's world and became her childhood sweetheart. It's just that Yunshi doesn't know why the original Hua Hua was so indifferent, and he never asked about such things. Naturally, a lady should have a lady's secret. Hua Hua has become his childhood sweetheart. That's enough. Hua Hua's past has nothing to do with him. What he likes is the one who is willing to smile for him and runs around the town every morning. Compared with the mysterious girl who can only appear in his dream, Hua Hua is a lovely girl who can be seen and touched and is close to him. With the opportunity of meeting Hua Hua, other childhood sweethearts appeared one after another. Without exception, they all had beautiful faces and special temperaments that were totally different from those girls in the small town, which made other children duel many times for them. Well, Yunshi didn't know about these things, because the kids finally found out in despair that Hua Hua, Milei, Yili, Phyllis were all around one person. That damn guy. Never eat his bread. Why are there such lucky guys in the world? Therefore, Yunshi inexplicably found that his former friends did not take him to play, which also made him sad for a long time. Later, he had to play with his childhood sweethearts. In Yunshi's eyes, Hua Hua is like a puzzle that can never be solved. Every time you feel you know her secret, more secrets come out. Why does Hua Hua, who has such a strong strength, always hide her real strength, and even now she has not stepped into the hero rank? Where does her flying sky sword come from? Why did she live in the remote town? The more he knows about Hua Hua's extraordinary features, the more Yunshi feels that it's his best luck to be her childhood sweetheart. It's really a miracle among miracles, and it's the luck of hundreds of millions of fortuitous superposition. Even though Hua Hua ordered him to put on the maid's clothes and went to school in the White Lotus Sword Palace, Yunshi did not refuse. She's a little tough, a little bit crazy, willful but gentle, cheerful and lively. She's like the sunshine in summer. She's always shining. This is Yunshi's childhood sweetheart, the invincible Hua Hua. Well, in this part of willfulness, Red Dragon Zaka has the essence of Hua Hua. Yunshi recorded how many fatal mistakes she had made since the two began to leave the volcano and head for the southern tribal region. Bite his arm, 35 times. Bite his ear, 47 times. Curse him to die, too many times, more than 3 figures. Accidentally ran out of the distance and put herself on the brink of death, 13 times. It is reasonable to learn something after looking for death 13 times in a row. At least she should know what to do and what not to do. In other words, if you don't look for death, death won't come directly to you. It's a pity that Red Dragon Zaka's head doesn't look so smart. It's more like a fool's indomitable spirit. As soon as she didn't pay attention to it, she didn't look at the road and ran into a big tree nearby. In an instant, her heart stopped and her eyes were straight. The Red Dragon Princess, who had the power to destroy heaven and earth, fell like a puppet about a Zaka away from Yunshi. Yunshi felt that if he didn't take good care of her, she would die countless times. It's the 14th time today that he sticks his hand on her chest and feels warm from his fingertips. CPR, go. Bang! With the press of Yunshi's right hand, Red Dragon Zaka's chest was first pressed down, showing an obvious fluctuation, and then it bounced violently, just like a lively rabbit. Poo-ha! Red Dragon Zaka gasps like a fish thrown back into the water, and looks at Yunshi with an extremely bad look. Bite! Small teeth bite Yunshi's hand. It's this hand. It's this hand that always touched her chest. I bite. I bite. How many times does this damned hand insult her? Her chest has been rubbed by this hand many times, almost familiar with the contour and strength of this hand. It's useless. Yunshi skillfully pulls up the body of Red Dragon Zaka. Her human posture is not heavy at all. She can be lifted up gently, just like a large-sized doll. It's just that this doll is different from White Moon. It's very violent and always biting. If you create such a product as a puppeteer, it must be a big failure. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. In the face of Yunshi's arm, which can't even leave a scar no matter how many times she bit, Red Dragon Zaka showed her unwilling eyes. If you make any more noise, I'll let Pafu go. Looking at Red Dragon Zaka, which seems to be attacking again, Yunshi has to threaten her. You pervert, devil. Red Dragon Zaka was so scared that she let go. Only that one I never want to try. Is this human being the natural enemy of me? Pafu. After hearing the master's command, Pafu ran out of Yunshi's clothes and was eager to try. No. No, no. The Red Dragon Princess turns pale and instinctively escapes. Well, she only runs about a meter away and the heart stops and falls down. What a stupid girl. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka, who was just rescued by himself, and makes the same mistake again. Compared with her sisters, Red Dragon Zaka seems to have another low level in IQ. Is it because that she added all intelligence points to strength? Pafu. Pafu. The green Pafu danced on Yunshi's shoulders, and then turned into the posture of Red Dragon Zaka. Except for not wearing clothes, the body curve was exactly the same, taking off the tiny version of Zaka. Maybe I have to teach her what adaptation is. Yunshi has some ideas about how to survive in a bad environment. The death of 3 figures in the trial taught Yunshi one thing. Never expect the environment to adapt to you. Before you have enough strength, it will only be you who adapt to the environment. In the face of great adversity, no matter how many setbacks you encounter, don't give up hope. Even sometimes, a temporary retreat is okay. It's shameful but very useful. Red Dragon Zaka, obviously, is the kind of child who has never experienced many setbacks, which is very similar to his invincible childhood sweetheart. It's just that Hua Hua has the power to break away from any environment. She's an exceptional existence that is not bound by any rules. Although Red Dragon Zaka is very strong, she is far from reaching the level of Hua Hua. Bang! Red Dragon Sokka's chest is full of green light again. It's all your fault. Why did you give me such a curse? Red Dragon Sokka opened her eyes, looked at the claw that was resting on her chest. She felt that she could not escape from that claw for the rest of her life. Because it's not a curse, it's salvation. It's better to live than to die, isn't it? Yunshi let go with his right hand and said with a smile. If I live in such humiliation, I might as well die in the war. For the proud Red Dragon Princess, rather than live like this, it was better to die in the war with the twin witches at that time. At least, she can still maintain the status of the great Red Dragon Princess and die proud, instead of being tied by this invisible thread to a human being. Just imagine such a future, she will feel dim of her life. Don't say death so easily. There are many wonderful things in the world that you have never experienced. If you die so simply, your sisters will be sad. Yunshi patted Red Dragon Sokka on the head. Even if there were 4 ex-girlfriends chasing after him, even if he was abused to doubt life in the trial, he never thought of death. Strive to live on, live his own life. Yunshi's principle of life is not to seek the best of everything, but to have a clear conscience. To like is to like, not to deny the wishes of his heart. Even if the future looks very bad, Yunshi is still trying to find his own way. Did I tell you that I have sisters? Red Dragon Sokka blinked, more or less recovered. Well, this kind of forward-looking personality is really similar to Hua Hua. Hua Hua will not give up at any time, even facing the end of the world, she can live freely. She has the passion and strength, she is the queen of summer, is the forever bright color of Yunshi. You told me. Don't you remember? Yunshi, in turn, asked Red Dragon Sokka. Yunshi had already explored the experience of how to deal with the straightforward Sokka. My sisters are the greatest people in the world. When it comes to her sisters, she's in a state of complete mental recovery. My elder sister is the conqueror of the world, the highest king. As long as she wants to conquer the target, no one can resist her legion, she is invincible great king. That desert dragon Sokka. The king. Yunshi can't help but imagine the face of desert dragon Sokka. Conquest, well, she is really a girl who loves conquest very much, whether in war or in bed. My second sister has the highest wisdom. She is a proud ice queen, a beauty that people like you will never touch. Ice Dragon Sokka, Yunshi recalled the wedding night. She was hugged by Desert Dragon Sokka and rolled onto the bed reluctantly. That crystal white skin suffused with the lovely appearance, he can't forget even if he wants to. Yes, I'm Sokka, the great Sokka, the Red Dragon Princess. I will avenge my sisters. At this moment, Red Dragon Sokka finally remembered that she was still carrying the mission given by the great original dragon. If it wasn't for the damned twin witches, she might have swept through the whole southern tribal area and invaded the last kingdom of mankind to avenge her sisters. I can't lose. I can never die here. Even if she had to be humiliated and forced to do this and that shameful things by this abnormal's hand, she would have to live bravely. For the hatred of my sisters. For the great original Dragon Mother's mission. She doesn't care about anything. Ah-hoo. Grabbing Yunshi's arm again, Red Dragon Sokka's eyes were ablaze with flames. Your sisters are not dead. Yunshi looks at the recovered Red Dragon Sokka with a guilty heart. After hesitating for a long time, he still doesn't tell the truth. Why Red Dragon Sokka thought that Desert Dragon Sokka and Ice Dragon Sokka had died. He could guess the reason. The lie he told the world seems to have become true. The two Sokka sisters changed from the dragons threatening the world to his princesses. He changed the script of the trial. And he, Desert Dragon Sokka, and Ice Dragon Sokka are all ready. It's impossible to regret. Is it the so-called lifting a stone and hitting your own foot? Even the world has been deceived by the lie. Then, practice with me. Since there is no way to relieve this wonderful relationship, then adapt to it. This is Yunxi's choice. There is nothing wrong with fighting the world, but it needs enough strength. As long as the trial of the Dragon's War is completed, everything will return to its original state. Practice what? Practice to act together, and the way to fight. Yunxi reached out his fingertips and touched the invisible but real line between them. The last gift left by LoveLore is not just to tie Red Dragon Zaka around him. Through this invisible line, Yunxi can clearly feel the huge power of Red Dragon Zaka and the sound of heart beating. Bang! 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 It was a beating sound that human beings could never have. It was the rhythm of the ultimate creature as a red dragon. The gift of LoveLore replaced its original core and integrated her incomparable power. After defeating such Red Dragon Zaka, Yunxi once again realized the power of the twin witches. Through this line of life connected with Red Dragon Zaka, Yunxi also shared part of Red Dragon Zaka's dragon power. His eyes can see farther than usual, also have the ability to see through invisibility. His skin, quietly emerging lava-like lines, is one of the 3 secrets of the red steel genre, lava skin. The 3 secret skills of the red steel genre, lava breath, lava skin and red steel blood, are the process of improving one's potential and evolving his body towards God's talent, the hard body. In order to have the hard body, the masters of the red steel genre will use every means to torture their bodies. They will fight with huge shackles all the year round, and rush to the front line at any time. Yunxi got the talent of the hard body from the seed of Mumu, and the talent of the soft body from the blessing of Hydra the water god. However, the 2 kinds of God's talents have not yet fully integrated, so it is necessary to take the initiative to switch forms when fighting. Red Dragon Zaka's physical strength is even more exaggerated than Yunxi's. As a red dragon holding the origin of fire, her body strength has reached a level of despair by nature. If it is not a god weapon level attack, no one can shake the hard dragon scale, which has incredible high magic resistance. When she launches her attacks, the whole sky will tremble. The red dragon roar wave, with the attribute of burning all things, is one of her best skills. It has the destructive power to both people and the army. Moving natural disasters, the red dragon, the scarlet destroyer, she alone has the power to destroy the world. Yunxi, who shared part of her strength, saw for the first time the weakness of the world from the perspective of the dragon. When the dragon is angry, the world will tremble. Red Dragon's anger can ignite the whole world. For Red Dragon Zaka, she is born with the power to dominate the world, and she is born to be the Flame King. How could such a powerful creature treat human beings on the same scale, so that she would say, "Give you 10 years to be the master of the world, and then I will eat you"? The world outlook and moral outlook of human beings are not applicable to dragon people or powerful dragons like Red Dragon Zaka. In fact, they are not evil, and they don't like to eat people. They just can't follow the rules of human beings, and human beings can't understand the idea of the dragon with their own rules. If you want to communicate with the dragon, strength is necessary, just as human beings don't communicate with ants who can be trampled to death easily by their own feet. In this world, the dragon is the intelligent creature at the top of the pyramid, not human beings. The more he understands the dragon power flowing into his body through that line of life, the more he can understand why Desert Dragon Zaka and Ice Dragon Zaka take world conquest for granted. Because they have that power. Even the weakest of the 4 Zakas, Desert Dragon Zaka, has achieved the goal of suppressing more than half of the continent with one person. They may have some weakness in character, but they have the simplest and strongest power to break all strategies. Without the existence of Yunxi and the Starwings Knights, the dragon camp could dominate the world with just one Zaka. This is the world of the Dragon's War. Human beings are in an absolutely disadvantageous status. What Yunshi wants to challenge is the invincible original dragon. To fight together. Can you do it? Although she was saved by Yunshi, Red Dragon Zaka showed a suspicious expression. Can humans keep up with the speed and strength of the dragon race? Even if she can't change back to the real dragon posture, she has the confidence to sweep the whole human world. What? You say the twin witches? They are not humans, absolutely not humans, but something else. There are some things you can't know if you don't try them. Yunshi has never tried to fight with the dragon. However, he has practical experience in doing this thing and that thing with dragons. You don't understand the difference between human beings and dragon people. Red Dragon Zaka looks scornful and slowly raises her right hand. The shadow of a dark red dragon's claw flashed away, and Red Dragon Zaka tore at the mountains in front of them. Crack! The mountain peaks, several kilometers high, cut off from the middle and make a deafening noise. The mountain, which weighs tens of millions of tons, is smashed by one hit. That is the power of the dragon, and it is only the power of a dragon's claw. See, this is the power that human beings can never. Red Dragon Zaka suddenly froze. She looked at Yunshi, who is making the almost same posture, and even the fingertips appeared the same shadow of Red Dragon's claw. Crack! Yunshi, learning from Red Dragon Zaka's technique, dominates the unfamiliar power of the dragon and rips at the smaller mountain nearby. A huge claw mark appeared in the middle of the 1,500-meter-high peak, and then it broke through the mountain body cleanly. The mountain suddenly slides down, splashing dust all over the sky. How could that be possible? Red Dragon Zaka can't believe it. This human has also used the dragon claw. This is a secret skill that only the real dragon clan can display. It is a skill specially developed for the humanized giant dragon. It's a terrible power. Yunshi didn't expect that he could really use it. What's more, he felt more at the moment he released the red dragon's claw. No way. No way. No way. Red Dragon Zaka's eyes were ablaze with flames. It's just a human being, just a human being. Even the prince can't drive the power of the dragon. Red Dragon Zaka takes a deep breath. The dragon claw is just one of her unique skills. She has more terrifying and powerful power. Yunshi also learned from Red Dragon Zaka and took a deep breath. The movements of the two people are almost completely synchronized. Then Red Dragon Zaka opens her mouth, the crystal on her forehead is filled with the breath of fire, and the vertical pupil shrinks and expands. All creatures in a radius of hundreds of kilometers run instinctively at this moment, because they feel the breath from the ultimate creature. In the next second, a roar beyond the limits of human imagination spreads around Red Dragon Zaka, forming a sound wave in essence. It's the dragon roaring, the ultimate creature at the top of the pyramid of the food chain, releasing its own unique breath. Dragon roar. This is only a gift of the dragon. Even if the mortals gather into millions of legions, they are as vulnerable as ants in the face of this indiscriminate attack. If every mortal has one attack power, then can 1 + 1 pose a deadly threat to a creature whose attack power is 1 million? There is no such thing. Red Dragon Zaka's roar is such an extraordinary attack that can make mortals despair. Even the dragon roar in the human state is enough to kill 100,000 people in an instant. That's the absolute gap in the level of life. Even if the mortals of the whole human kingdom are put together, they are not the opponents of Red Dragon Zaka. To make such a roar, Red Dragon Zaka is trying to prove that there are some things that human beings can never do, which is the difference in the nature of life. However, what dazed Red Dragon Zaka's eyes was that, almost at the same time she roared, Yunshi also released almost the same sound. Red Dragon Zaka's roar, with her unique domineering and destructive atmosphere, is like an erupting volcano. The roar emitted by Yunshi has a kind of holy and pure breath. Even Yunshi doesn't know that the roar he made is holy typed. Two different kinds of dragon roar are intertwined to form a huge tornado. The sound of dragon roar resounds from the sky and even reaches thousands of miles away. It's a resonance reaction. Holy-typed power and flame-typed power interlaced, turned into a dragon fire burning the sky, which is the perfect proof of the combination of the two attributes. You are not human, are you? Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunshi, who is also at a loss. How can human beings roar and even cause the phenomenon of dragon roar? No, I'm ordinary. Yunshi felt the rippling waves in his body and found that in addition to the power of the dragon roar, there seemed to be other forces emerging. The wild and restless power. No doubt, it comes from the power of desert dragon Zaka. Relatively cold and penetrating, nature is the power of ice dragon Zaka. Yunshi understands these two kinds of dragon power. But what is the first awakened holy-type dragon power? Such a holy-type dragon power has never appeared in the world of Dragon's War before. Where did it come from? Moreover, it seems that rank is still on top of Desert Dragon Zaka and Ice Dragon Zaka. Even in the face of Red Dragon Zaka, the resonance caused by the roar radiates thousands of miles away. In the world of Dragon's War, is there a powerful dragon that has not appeared? I don't believe it. You must be a dragon clan. Red Dragon Zaka grins at Yunshi, who resonates with her power, and switches her moves again. Dragon Roar Wave, her strongest secret skill. Although it would be a great burden on the body to perform this move as a human being, she could not manage so much. She wants to prove that this human being can never perform such earth-shaking secret skill. Even among the giant dragons, not all dragons can display Dragon Roar Wave at will, which requires extremely huge vitality and strong control over the power of the field. Moreover, Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave has the particularity of a multi-stack, which is far beyond the general Dragon Roar Wave. For every second of Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave lashed, its damage power will increase. As long as she has 5 minutes, she can smash the whole continent and sink it to the bottom of the sea. Crimson Dragon Roar Wave, this is the strongest trump card of Red Dragon Zaka. This is a move that even the terrible twin witches have to use the strongest killing moves to destroy. The dragon horn stretches out, and the deep red dragon tail appears behind Red Dragon Zaka. The vertical pupil reflects the fiery scenery, like the end of the world. Countless waves spread and superimposed around her, as if something were rippling in the strings of the world. If you can learn it, then I'll be with you. Red Dragon Zaka raises her proud head and has absolute confidence in her strongest dragon roar wave. Only this can't be learned by others. This is the power given by the great original Dragon Mother to her to conquer the world. She firmly believes that her dragon roar wave is invincible. It's so beautiful. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka. For some reason she looks more dazzling than usual at this moment, just like a crimson comet. Burning eyes. Raised head because of self-confidence. Under the loose bowknot, the skin is crystal white, and her chest is like a pair of harvest fruits. Slim waist. Long legs and high heels. Red Dragon Zaka, who doesn't look silly as usual and devotes all her heart and soul to the dragon roar wave, is a real princess, the ultimate creature who dominates the world and steps into the mysterious and unpredictable field. Her charm is now fully displayed in front of Yunshi. There is something stirring inside of Yunshi's chest. It is the voice that stimulates him to respond to the challenge of Red Dragon Zaka. It is a gift left by LoveLore. You can do it. As long as it's you, there's nothing you can't do. Because you are the one I love and I am waiting for. Dragon Roar Wave, Parse. Yunshi felt the high-speed beat of his heart and began to capture the track of the string of the world. I saw it. So this is Dragon Roar Wave. After understanding how Dragon Roar Wave works, Yunshi quickly understands why Red Dragon Zaka is so confident that he can't perform this secret art. Dragon Roar Wave is a kind of super large-scale talent that can only be displayed by the dragon who has raised all his energy and spirit to the top. In essence, this move is to change the life wave of the dragon into a wave of air, and its power will show different posture according to the dragon's constitution. Only the dragon, whose body is 1,000 times harder than human beings, can turn its life essence into an attack means. In fact, human beings also have moves that are very close to this dragon's secret art in theory. They are called the disintegration of demons. Once launched, they will burn out the performer's lives. The dragon's natural vitality is more than 1,000 times that of human beings, so it can turn its vitality into a wave that sweeps everything. The essence of Dragon Roar Wave is the attack transformed from the vitality of a dragon, which can devour the essence of demons. Red Dragon Zaka is the red dragon with the highest vitality among the 4 Zakas, and can play the power of Dragon Roar Wave to the limit. Once launched, her Dragon Roar Wave has the characteristics of continuously improving its power, and it takes only 5 minutes to reach the level of world destruction. With such a devastating Dragon Roar Wave, she is entitled to be proud and firmly believes that human beings can never learn the same moves. Her theory is correct. Human beings can't use Dragon Roar Wave, because as long as the upper limit of human life does not reach the legend rank, there will be a gap between human beings and dragons. This is not an area where learning can be achieved. It is the absolute advantage of the superior race over the inferior race. Human beings are unable to compare with the dragon's life limit. It's an impossible task to accomplish. Without the vitality of dragon, even if human beings master the Dragon Roar Wave in some way, they will drain the vitality in the moment of use, and become part of the Dragon Roar Wave. The pride of the Red Dragon Princess is also the pride of the dragon race. Even if Yunshi displays the Dragon Claw and the Dragon Roar, she will never believe that he can use Dragon Roar Wave. The Crimson Wave covered the earth, engulfed the heaven and earth, and instantly spread to the area of 10 kilometers. In the area covered by Dragon Roar Wave, everything is burned and melted. It seems that the whole ground is like melted cream, and the whole crust tends to be burned out. Domineering and invincible. Even the twin witches did not choose to confront the devastating Dragon Roar Wave. Instead, they wiped out the heart of the Red Dragon Princess with an unknown and terrible secret art, and forcibly interrupted the Crimson Dragon Roar Wave. Looking from the sky, it seems that there is suddenly a spreading crimson disk on the ground. This disk presents beautiful and distinct red lines, which looks like the most gorgeous art. Yes, it's really art. It's the art of doomsday that burns out everything. Huge beads of sweat appear on Red Dragon Zaka's forehead. Although the power of this move is unparalleled, it requires unimaginable physical strength and vitality. Even with the dragon's humanized posture, this move exhausted her full strength. At present, she can only last this secret art for about 3 minutes. However, this is enough. Dragon Roar Wave has no rival. She just wants to prove to this human being that there are some things he can't do. Some fields, no matter how hard humans try, can't be touched. That's the privilege of the highest race in the endless gods' domains. Even elves, an element of the upper race, are also unable to turn his life essence into a wave of destruction like the dragon race. Dragon Roar Wave, this is the pride of the dragon people. Yunshi really understood this point after experiencing the power of Dragon Roar Wave from zero distance. It's impossible for human beings to display Dragon Roar Wave. However, he can do it. Even he's a little bit worried about what kind of Dragon Roar Wave he should learn. At this moment, as in response to the Dragon Roar Wave performed by Red Dragon Princess, 3 different Dragon Roar Wave patterns appear in Yunshi's mind. The first is Dragon Roar Wave from his third princess, Desert Dragon Zaka. Desert Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave has a special starting mode, which can automatically condense 4 eyes of sand. With these 4 eyes of sand as the core, the covered area will be completely turned into desert and the terrain will be changed by force. It is a Dragon Roar Wave born with the curse of desertification. The second is Dragon Roar Wave from his fourth princess, Ice Dragon Zaka. The Dragon Roar Wave of Ice Dragon Zaka is a typical Dragon Roar Wave with a large release range and a very long duration. It can even be resident and become a field similar to Halo. The area covered by Ice Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave will become a world of ice and snow. Yunxi is very glad that he finally married her. Otherwise, if she starts this move, the last kingdom of mankind will become a kingdom of ice and snow. The last Dragon Roar Wave, Yunxi, has no idea how it came from. It's a very beautiful Dragon Roar Wave with a sacred breath. The effect is unknown. The principle is unknown. What kind of dragon belongs to? He doesn't know. It's just the way to launch naturally engraved in Yunxi's memory. The structure is extremely beautiful and simple. It is clear at a glance. It is composed of a vertex and 4 rotating lines. It shows different characteristics from other Dragon Roar Waves. Although I do not understand the principle, just use it. Yunxi raises his finger and immerses himself in the simple and wonderful outline. The only point is the coordinate. For continuously rotating lines, take the point as the tip. The construction of the whole Dragon Roar Wave is far from the general circular diffusion model, but it gives people a flavor of containing the truth of all things. Dragon Roar Wave. On Yunxi's fingertips, there is a sacred silver-white light ball jumping. That is the truth that can penetrate the wall of the universe. It is the beacon that lights up the front. It is the power of faith that can break through the barriers between God's domain and extremely specialize a certain will. Bet on your own life, desperate to find. Even if the body is covered with wounds, even if it is pierced by 10,000 swords, he will never waver and never retreat. Even if the barrier in front of me is the barrier of the world, which cannot be destroyed by the gods, I will never give up. It was a sudden, spiral light falling from the distant sky. The point at the top presents a beautiful and incredible silvery white color, and the 4 lines behind it are constantly spinning and flying, and instantly accelerates it to an impossible level. The silvery white flash turned into a column of light through the earth and scattered the ominous red ripple from the center. Once again, Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave was forced to be interrupted. This time, it was not her heart that was wiped away, which led to the collapse of the Dragon Roar Wave. It was really defeated by the higher-level Dragon Roar Wave, which could penetrate the world barrier and could travel in the void. Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave can destroy the earth and burn the sky, turning the world of Dragon's War into dust in 5 minutes. The unknown Silver Dragon Roar Wave can even break through the barrier amongst the worlds. That's the power of gods. The sacred Silver Dragon Roar Wave has more power than Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar Wave. However, Yunxi suffered a lot from the consumption of vitality. In just 1 second, his body is empty. Fortunately, he is still in the state of life connection with Red Dragon Zaka. If he is alone, he will burn out himself like firewood. The power of the sacred Silver Dragon Roar Wave is just like that of the Sun Wing from Princess Golden Crow, far beyond the limit Yunxi can grasp now. In a sense, the Red Dragon Princess's judgment is correct. It is impossible for human beings to use Dragon Roar Wave. However, her failure is also clear and irrefutable. After the 2 Dragon Roar Waves were annihilated in an instant, the 2 people connected by the line of life collapse on the ground with a face full of loveless expression. Cough, it's impossible. Red Dragon Zaka, who has been drained of her essence, half because Yunshi borrowed a lot of essences, looks desperate. You can't be human. How is it possible for human beings to launch Dragon Roar Wave? Red Dragon Zaka is puzzled about how Yunshi launched the Dragon Roar Wave. In this world, except for the 4 sisters of Zaka and the great original dragon, there is no other dragon race. Where did the silver dragon roar wave come from? It doesn't look like a thing of this world at all. If it lasted a few more seconds, it would probably break through the world. Her crimson dragon roar wave will destroy the world in about 5 minutes. The strange dragon roar wave can pierce the world in about 5 seconds. There is no doubt that she lost. She lost cleanly and had no chance to argue. I'm very common. Well, he's just a very ordinary child of stars. Yunshi doesn't know if there are other children of stars. 1 second after the dragon roar wave was launched, Yunshi was so tired that he can barely speak. 1 second, he only used 1 second of dragon roar wave. With the talent of the hard body and the soft body, he also borrowed the massive essence of Red Dragon Zaka. Starting the Dragon Roar Wave in this second exhausted almost all his essence. If it continues, he will immediately turn into dust and go to see the familiar bonfire. Dragon Roar Wave is really a terrible thing. No creatures can afford to launch this secret art apart from dragons. It's so sad to be drained. Which ordinary human being can be the same as you? After seeing Yunshi in his very different Dragon Roar Wave, Red Dragon Zaka's tone has changed subtly. She likes strong people, because she is a strong person among the strong people and will dominate this land in the future. Only the strong people at her level are qualified to stay at her side. Until just now, Yunshi was just the level of a human being who had the chance to kill her when she was dying. Although it is already a great standard for human beings, it is not qualified for her to treat him equally. This self-confidence was not completely changed until her Dragon Roar Wave was defeated by Yunshi's Dragon Roar Wave. This human is different and special. He, like the twin witches, didn't look like a human being. It is said that although most of the human beings are average creatures, however, in 100 million probability, there will be unimaginable super strong people. Maybe, this human is the 1 in a billion chance of this world. He can't be a dragon. Red Dragon Zaka is 100% sure of this. But at the moment when he released the unknown Dragon Roar Wave, she really felt the same breath as hers and was far stronger than hers. I'm really ordinary. Yunshi raised his fingertips, and there remained the mystery power. The silver-white point, and 4 lines of infinite rotation. He feels that there are some mysteries in them. Unfortunately, he is far away from understanding the power at this time. He can't use this move alone in any case. In fact, the Red Dragon Princess didn't lose the battle, because, without her, 10 Yun's eyes together couldn't perform this Dragon Roar Wave. Yunshi has a way to perform this move, and his body also remembers the feeling of release. However, his life essence is 1,000 times lesser than the most basic requirement. Therefore, it is not so much that Yunshi defeated the Red Dragon Princess, but rather that the combination of Yunshi and Red Dragon Princess defeated herself. However, Yunshi has actually used Dragon Roar Wave, and its power is above that of the Red Dragon Princess. The agreement between the two is not that who wins or loses, but only can human beings do it. At this point, Yunshi won. Agreement is agreement. I promise you, from now on, I will act with you and fight together. Red Dragon Zaka bit her teeth and reluctantly accepted Yunshi's proposal. Target: Red Dragon Princess Zaka. Personality: impulsive and conceited, proud, and confident. No matter how you look at her, she looks like a princess who has been spoiled since childhood. However, once a promise is made, it will be conscientiously observed. This character is very similar to her sisters. All the Zaka sisters he has met have such good qualities. Even Ice Dragon Zaka, the coldest of all, agreed to his proposal and fulfilled her responsibility as the fourth princess. Hey, what are you looking at? Practice with me quickly. After agreeing to work with Yunshi, Red Dragon Zaka's attitude towards Yunshi has changed significantly. If it's before Yunshi performed the Dragon Roar Wave, her words must be, "Go to hell, you perverted human being." Well, in fact, she is a good girl. Yunshi stood up and moved his body. After the same 5 minutes rest, the Red Dragon Princess had recovered her fighting power, while Yunshi was still very weak, just like the morning after the wedding night, he could not make any strength at all. It is clear that half of her recovered essence has flowed into Yunshi's body, but the difference in physical quality is still so great. A dragon is a dragon. Even if she transformed into a human being, her essence of life is very different from that of human beings. Since we will stay together, we have to cooperate with each other. If you can't keep up with my speed, I will suffer. Red Dragon Zaka, with her hands on her hips, looks at Yunshi with a serious attitude. In battle, you'll hold me back. I am not a dragon. I can't recover so fast. Yunshi helplessly looked at the Red Dragon Princess, who began to get excited for some reason he didn't know. Through the invisible line of life formed by LoveLore's power, he can clearly perceive the constant boiling dragon blood in Red Dragon Zaka's body at the moment. It's just 5 minutes after her strongest dragon roar wave has been smashed, but she has been so vigorous again. On the contrary, Yunshi has gained half of the essence of Red Dragon Zaka, but his body is still not managing. There is such a big gap between human beings and dragon people. First, running together is the foundation of the foundation. Recognizing Yunshi's qualification to fight alongside her, Red Dragon Zaka unleashed unprecedented enthusiasm, almost in sharp contrast to the hostility of the first encounter. To suit your speed, I'll hold your hand. Grasping Yunshi's hand, Red Dragon Zaka, who seems to have finally found a solution, has a burning flame in her eyes. Yes, that's the best way. As long as we keep holding hands, I will never leave the invisible line. That's the best way to get rid of the curse. Run. No matter whether Yunshi agrees or disagrees, Red Dragon Zaka has been forced to do it. Oh, wait, I'm not ready yet. Human beings are not dragons. They can't revive in 5 minutes after performing suicide moves. It is clear that Red Dragon Zaka is not malicious, but Yunshi always feels that he has chosen another wrong option. Is it better not to use the unknown dragon roar wave? Now the Red Dragon Princess is obviously overexcited at another level. No matter what she encounters, she will rush up. What a young and active girl. This kind of childishness is like Hua Hua in some way. No way. Let's run. 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 Holding Yunshi's hand, Red Dragon Zaka runs at a high speed as if she has endless amounts of energy. Where are we going? Yunshi didn't know his position. There was no such thing as road in the route they were heading to. Red Dragon Zaka chose a straight line. What about the woods in the way? Once she uses her dragon claw, any place can be the road. What about a river 100 meters wide? Give it a sprint jump past. What to do with the thorny swamp and a group of vicious crocodiles? After a few fireballs, the swamp was burned into hard ground, and the crocodiles became roasted crocodiles. There is nothing to stop Red Dragon Zaka from running. She takes Yunshi across mountains, rivers, forests, swamps, and rushes all the way to the desert area. In the setting sun, there are 2 running figures, which are the youth of boys and girls. When Red Dragon Zaka finally stopped, Yunshi looked at the oasis in the desert area and found that he had already traveled half a continent. According to the map he had seen in the palace, it was a desert area in the west of the mainland, which had long been conquered by his third princess, desert dragon Zaka. The desert tribes here have collectively converted to the dragon, forming a new dragon belief. In addition, the northern ice field, which has been occupied by the enemy for a long time, has become the inland of the Dragon Kingdom and is the domain dominated by the original giant dragon. Not bad, you passed. Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunxi, who runs with her even though he doesn't want to. Without wings, she was not used to running on the ground. It took her a day to reach the distance that the dragon wings could easily fly over. However, it is worth it. In the process of running, she gradually gets familiar with the rhythm of Yunxi, and Yunxi gradually keeps up with her pace. It is a tacit understanding that naturally arises between the two sides. Hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, two people's heartbeat and breathing rhythm become consistent. It's hard to describe that feeling, for the first time in his life, and for Red Dragon Zaka. Holding hands with him, without thinking about any problems, just running with the sun toward the west. The first defeat in her life. The tension of being cursed. In the confrontation with the human beside her, she can see the stronger dragon roar wave. Originally complex thoughts, with the two people running together, gradually became simple. Yes, this human is qualified to run with me. He can catch up with me and keep improving. If it is this human being, he is qualified to advance with me. In the end, they failed to catch up with the sun. They stopped in the oasis and watched the sunset finally set in the west of the horizon. Okay, that's the end of running training. Red Dragon Zaka releases Yunxi's hand, stretches his body, and looks at Yunxi with a wonderful look. That kind of feeling, just like a little dog who has been crazy for a day outside and looks at her master eagerly after returning home. I'm hungry. After the rapid development of the relationship with Yunxi, Red Dragon Zaka has a strong case for food. Only bread. Yunxi took a look at the oasis. In addition to clear spring, there were only a few poplar trees with their leaves tightly closed and large areas of cactus. In the distance, it seems that there were a few scorpions and other creatures foolishly hovering on the sand dunes, but dare not close here. There is no doubt that they feel the smell of a dragon, the ultimate creature at the top of the pyramid of the food chain. Bread will do. Red Dragon Zaka gulps in her throat and gulps down her saliva. Before that, she had never thought that bread, a kind of common food of human beings, would have such a strong attraction for her. No, it's not about the bread. It's his bread. His bread is unusual. That kind of bread contains some ingredients that make her unable to stop. If she just takes a small bite, she will feel like she is floating. Yes, that's the smell. It's the smell of crime. Red Dragon Zaka looked straight at Yunxi's golden-colored bread from his own storage and snatched it with lightning speed. Ah-hoo! With a big bite, she once again showed a happy expression. Well, if I can eat such delicious bread every day, it seems that it is not impossible to act with this human being temporary. Yunxi looks at his golden cream bread in a daze. He didn't put anything strange in this bread. Why does Red Dragon Zaka show such an attractive and lovely expression when biting this golden butter bread? Through the line of life connected between them, he could clearly feel her elation, unbridled mood. In terms of human language, this is probably the case. Yummy, yummy, yummy. One more, one more. One is not enough, more. Woo hoo 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 hoo. With sweet white cream on her mouth, Red Dragon Zaka shook her little feet and reached out to Yunxi. The meaning could not be more obvious, another one. Oh, don't eat too much, you will become fat. Yunxi stretched out his hand, and another golden butter bread appeared in the palm of his hand, and was bidden away by the long-waiting Red Dragon Zaka. Giant Dragon doesn't need to worry about getting fat, Red Dragon Zaka hums a tune to show off her proud figure. The skin is white and tender. The neck is long and snow-white, more beautiful and smooth than a swan's neck. The typical oval pretty face, coupled with the small and classic features, has become a very attractive picture. The beautiful girl's body, which is exquisite and full of youthful breath, is within the reach of Yunxi's hands. Obviously, he didn't eat much, but Yunxi felt like a full meal. The thread of life actively conveys a certain impulse of Red Dragon Zaka towards him. Like, I want to lick his body. Delusion, delusion. It must be a delusion. In fact, this is not a delusion. Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunxi quietly and licks the white cream from her mouth. Through the pupils of Yunxi, she can see her human posture. No matter how she looks at it, she is a beautiful and peerless beauty in his pupils. Well, is that line of sight, looking at my chest? Unable to help it, Red Dragon Zaka recalled how her soft chest had been kneaded by the other party over and over again, and she was deeply immersed in the feeling. This pervert is so interested in her chest. Human beings are hopeless. I won't show you. Red Dragon Zaka hugs her chest and makes a face at Yunxi. Found out. The guilty Yunxi turns his head. It is really not a thing a gentleman should do. Well, tell me about you. You should be one of the strongest men in the world. Now that she has to stay with Yunxi for a while, Red Dragon Zaka becomes curious about Yunxi's identity. Just an ordinary human being. Don't try to fool me. If even an ordinary human can use the dragon roar wave, there will be no room for other races in the endless god's domains. No, I'm far from the real strong. Yunxi naturally comes up with his own invincible childhood sweetheart Hua Hua, as well as the twin witches who defeated Red Dragon Zaka. Taking them as the reference target, Yunxi doesn't feel that he is very strong at all. It's better to say that he had just caught up with them. Red Dragon Zaka, on the other hand, is born strong. She can destroy the world in 5 minutes. It's no joke. If their WSS sent the connection of Lji's lifeline, he has no chance to defeat her except to open the forbidden door of Star Wings. Recognizing the gap is one of the manifestations of Yunxi's growth. The Queen of Assyria, White Moon, Desert Dragon Zaka, and Ice Dragon Zaka, his 4 princesses are all real monsters in a sense. Especially the Queen of Assyria, the master of the Forgotten Ruins, she made Yunxi revived from the bonfire for countless times. When I can fight with Red Dragon Zaka without the Star Wings, maybe I will be one of the strong. I wanted to be stronger and stronger than anyone else, so I came to try. Yunxi held out his right hand, and the star lights fell from his finger joints. No matter what the world is, he can see the stars all over the sky. As long as the stars shine on the place, he will be full of courage, because that is the great stars' care for him. Therefore, no matter how many setbacks he encountered, no matter how many times he died, he would believe that he would find the way to hope. Yes, only the real strong people are worthy of the world. Red Dragon Zaka also reaches out her finger and grabs Yunxi's hand. The 2 fingers are connected and their cheeks are getting closer. Why? What is she doing? Why? What am I doing? Yunxi's face was tense, showing an expression of going to accept but yet refuse. Red Dragon Zaka, on the other hand, has a confused expression of, where is this place, who am I, and what am I doing? Only the green flower in her chest, the gift left by Lji to Yunxi, the only flower in the world, quietly unfolds its petals and releases certain elements. It's fragrant, sweet, and intoxicating. Why do I want to kiss this human being? Red Dragon Zaka only felt that her mind was in a state of confusion. She couldn't remember anything or think about anything. She just had an instinctive impulse, which seemed to urge her to try to absorb some elements. Subconsciously, she understands that it was very, very delicious. The little red dragon, who had enjoyed Yunshi's bread, had no immunity to it. But how to eat it? It's okay to eat like this. Red Dragon Zaka lowers her head and clasps her fingers with Yunshi. Her beautiful face is as red as sunset. Her body instinctively flustered trembling, and her heart rate constantly accelerating, seems to be waiting for something to moisten. Yunshi looks at the lovely red dragon Zaka in front of him and can't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. It's terrible, it's really bad. He clearly knows that this is not a thing he should do, but there is no place to escape. He and Red Dragon Zaka are bound to the line of life, not only the young Red Dragon Princess but also himself. Yunshi realized this only now. Looking at the closer and closer lips of the lovely Red Dragon Princess, Yunshi can't hide. Paw! Red Dragon Zaka's hairband was automatically untied, and her long hair fell down, and her skin was shining like jade in the moonlight. The girl's soft face pasted on Yunshi's cheek, and two people's lips naturally combined. Boom! Just in an instant, there was a flame burning in both of their bodies. It is the flame of life, it is a brilliant color, it is the band intertwined with each other. Compared with the unruly red dragon Zaka, Yunshi almost immediately took the initiative. He wantonly kisses the fragrant lip that has never been touched by a man. The whole person seems to be burning. With his powerful tongue, it is easy to open and close the barrier. He puts it into the mouth, licks it slowly, and sips it from time to time so that the little red dragon princess makes a lovely voice. At this time, the experience of the wedding night is perfectly displayed. For how to get close to Zaka's, Yunshi's proficiency has reached the level of a master. And Red Dragon Zaka's experience in this area is, of course, 0. Beautiful long hair randomly scattered on the chest, under the light of stars, send out a kind of soft luster like jade. The smooth and warped twin peaks are perfectly pressed on Yunshi's chest, bringing a greasy touch. Yunshi kisses greedily while freeing his right hand and let it slide slowly along the pink cheek and jade neck to Red Dragon Zaka's tall and plump chest. Through the gentle and smooth arc, Yunshi's hands from front to back gradually slide from the greasy and soft back of the neck to the slender waist and slowly encircled the smooth abdomen, so that he once again experienced the taste of the fragrant body. As Yunshi's actions became more and more excessive, Red Dragon Zaka suddenly blushed and immediately fell into chaos, and her consciousness of resistance disappeared again. The green flowers that successfully add Yunshi's ingredients continue to drive the lost little red dragon and let her actively approach Yunshi. Wow! Ah! Red Dragon Zaka's red cherry mouth becomes more sweet and greasy with a touch of refreshing fragrance. The smell is. Yunshi is also a bit hazy as if entering a dream. In front of his eyes, the Red Dragon Princess's face gradually became the face of Desert Dragon Zaka, and then the face of Ice Dragon Zaka. After all, they look so similar. With his strong arms around the soft waist of Red Dragon Zaka, his palms caress the girl's smooth and delicate back, and his lips gently kiss her forehead, eyes, and cheek. When the girl's expression changed from tense to soft and shy, he sipped and sucked her fragrant pink lip and entangled with her sweet tongue. The long kiss made Red Dragon Zaka's body more soft and powerless, and almost lost all the resistance. Of course, just like last night, even if she resisted, there would be no change. Yunshi's lips continued to move downward, planted a few bright rose kisses on Red Dragon Zaka's crystal white neck, and gently bit the soft and full bud. Every time Yunshi's tongue sweeps across it, Red Dragon Zaka makes a whine. Waves of redness appear on the snow-white body. The straight and plump legs are sometimes stretched and sometimes folded. The smooth and delicate skin is even hotter as if it was ignited. Yunshi just took a light bite, and the pair of white rabbits bound by the bowknot had broken away from the shackles of the dress and exposed to the air. Under the starlight, the jade-like cheeks, small and delicate nose, ruddy lips, as well as the full and straight chest, slender waist, all send out the pleasant smell that Yunshi can't resist. At this time, are you going to be an animal, or continue to resist like a gentleman? Yunshi was in a great deal of trouble, but soon he didn't have to worry. Because Red Dragon Zaka has bitten his ear and began to absorb a special factor called Yunshi's ingredient more actively. A cloud passed by quietly and blocked the moon. Eat you. Biting Yunshi's ear, Red Dragon Zaka made a voice that he didn't know if it was a demonstration or a temptation. Well, next, she really went from toe to finger, from ear to eat Yunshi up and down. Tonight is a peaceful night. Or, it's time for the little white rabbit to attack the wolf. Under the stars, the Red Dragon Princess pulled the clear and cold spring water on her delicate white body. Transparent water drops from the red face to the white neck, and then to fragrant collarbone, tender arm, delicate jade-like back, flat abdomen, soft waist, round hip, slender legs, thin feet, and finally return to the water. In the starlight, the crystal-clear skin exudes a wonderful white luster. The spring water at night is very cold. The Red Dragon Princess's body is very hot. Behind her is Yunshi, whose eyes closed and face embarrassed. Don't look, I'll kill you. Red Dragon Zaka, who is washing her body, stares at the bastard who has done those things just now. Careless, I was too careless. I can't get married. I didn't open my eyes. Yunshi felt that it was really unjust. It was her who took the initiative to do that to him. The passionate deep kiss, a little tender but indefatigable way of intimacy, the energy of the dragon is really amazing. Big liar. Red Dragon Zaka washes her hair and skin with spring water. Her body has his smell everywhere. What? Did she take the initiative to push him down? There is no such thing. Everything is his fault. No matter what, it must be his fault. Zakas don't make mistakes. The daughters of the great original dragon are symbols of truth. Everything Zakas did is right because they had the power to make rules. What is this kind of person? Looking at the traces left on her body, Red Dragon Zaka's small face turned red and recalled what had happened just now. Did her feet have stepped on him many times? At the same time, they were kissed many times. What's more embarrassing is that she took the initiative to lick. It must be this guy's fault, it must be the moon's fault, it must be the star's fault, it must be the sun's fault. Anyway, it's definitely not her fault. She never thought that she would have such a relationship with human beings in her whole life. It's too impure. Does she like this human? No way. Even if tomorrow is the end of the world, she won't like him. To get her heart, at least he has to be a king. This guy is not like a king at all. And how many girls have been violated by this bastard? Why was he so skilled? Forget it. Forget what happened tonight. Nothing happened tonight. It's all your dream. Red Dragon Zaka gritted her teeth and yelled in Yunshi's ear. Okay. I know it's a delusion, it is just my dream. Yunshi raises his right hand helplessly and makes an appointment with Red Dragon Zaka. Pinky swear. If you dare to tell anyone, I will eat you, from toe to hair. Red Dragon Zaka's roar was loud, with an imperceptible sense of shame. Yes, I will never say it. Yunshi takes Red Dragon Zaka's little finger and shakes it, it's a secret between us. Idiot, pervert, big liar. Biting Yunshi's finger, Red Dragon Zaka left a small tooth mark this time. The red dress woven by magic reappeared on her body. The old one had just disappeared because of some flame. Her high-heeled shoes trample heavily on the ground beside Yunxi as if it's a part of Yunxi's body. Oh, she really dislikes me. It's really bad. Why can't I just control my impulse? Yunxi sighs at Red Dragon Zaka, who looks at him with her look becomes more and more scornful. At first, it was Red Dragon Zaka who took the initiative, but after that, he couldn't say that he wasn't affected. When embracing her, he always has the delusion that he was holding his fifth princess. What a mistake. What a mistake. Bang! 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 The untimely heartbeat rings out, seems to be smiling at this pair who just entered the wonderful world. Heartbeat can't lie. Red Dragon Zaka's heart is pounding, that is the pure feeling of a girl. Yunxi's heart is pounding, that's the troubled youth's regret. Youth is always so easy to be impulsed, chagrined. Some wonderful atmosphere spread between them. Say something. You liar, do you dare to do such a thing to me and dare not to admit it? Red Dragon Zaka's hands rested on her hips with a reproachful look. Maybe, it's not to blame someone but to know, to understand a problem. Only Yunxi can give this problem an answer, a perfect answer that makes the other side blush. Didn't you say, you want me to forget it? Yunxi asked in confusion. He doesn't understand the young girl's caprice at all. Ah, you stupid fool. Red Dragon Zaka trampled on Yunxi's feet with her high heels. Fool, fool. Why can't you understand? I just want to know, why can't you understand? Even if you are a liar, you are also a liar who has won the great Red Dragon Princess and completed the unprecedented great cause in human history. I want to be praised by you. I want you to say I am the most beautiful princess in the world. I want you to tell me that you who have the Red Dragon Princess are the happiest person in the world. Too stupid, too stupid. Yes, I'm a fool. In such a situation, Yunxi can only act like a fool. Well, it's especially useful for Huahua. When Huahua is angry, he just has to admit his mistake and pretend to be a fool, and he can be forgiven. Well, at last, you know yourself. Red Dragon Zaka grabs Yunxi's face and makes a funny expression. The luckiest thing in your life is to meet the magnanimous Red Dragon Princess. Magnanimous. It seems that he has been forgiven. Yunxi quietly breathed a sigh of relief. The more Yunxi gets along with the Zaka sisters, the more he can feel their frankness and innocence. From the perspective of human beings, they are truly dangerous creatures with the power of destroying the world. However, they are not evil, and they are not monsters that will destroy everything for no reason. Instead, they all have their own personalities and see the world in their own way. Desert Dragon Zaka, Ice Dragon Zaka, and Red Dragon Zaka, Yunxi has met 3 of Zaka's 4 sisters. According to what Yunxi has seen so far, the younger the Zaka is, the stronger her strength is. Red Dragon Zaka, who is by his side at the moment, could destroy the continent in 5 minutes. So, how powerful is the Zaka that has not yet appeared? And they are just the 4 kings who guard the original dragon, the final boss. Yunxi once again feels that the difficulty of this world is too much. What a wonderful creature. After being forgiven by Red Dragon Zaka, Yunxi walks up to her. I'm Zaka, the most powerful dragon in the world. Since you want us to act together, you have to be worthy of me. Red Dragon Zaka grabbed Yunxi's hand in high spirits. After last night, something happened. Once they crossed that line, they cannot go back. Since they can't go back, they can only accept it and deal with it. Red Dragon Zaka looks at Yunxi and makes a decision. Be strong with me. In this way, you are qualified to be mine, At this point, Red Dragon Zaka's face turned red and she couldn't speak anymore. Obviously, it is something that can never be forgiven. She never expected that the whole thing would develop to such an indescribable degree. Now, there are still Yunshi's kisses on her skin, neck, chest, and abdomen, which is the proof of the two people's time together. At the same time, it is also a contract, which is more vivid than any word or oath. In her chest, the flower of life is releasing a new force. That's the power of hope and fetter. Two people naturally hand in hand, ushered in the morning light. On the eastern horizon of the desert, a golden red sun leaps out, illuminating the faces of Yunshi and Red Dragon Zaka. Go and conquer the world with me. Red Dragon Zaka exclaimed what she had to do, what her sisters couldn't do. Is this really so important to you? Yunshi has always been unable to understand why the dragon had to conquer the world. For this reason they even dare to fight against all other intelligent creatures. This is a matter of course, because the Great Mother wants the world. We will fight for our mother. I lost to the witches once, but as long as I'm alive, I will continue to fulfill my mission. Dragons can never be defeated. Red Dragon Zaka raised her proud head, took Yunshi's hand and pointed to the rising sun on the eastern horizon. We are the masters of the world, oh. Yunshi was silent and finally realized that the world outlook, law, social order and so on of humanity was really meaningless to the dragons. The ultimate creature with the strongest power can really do whatever it wants. If he wants the original dragon to change its plan, at least he must have the power to defeat it. Just the third Zaka already has the power of destroying the world. How powerful would the original giant dragon be? Can the world be saved? I want to see the twin witches. After a moment, Yunshi hesitated to say his destination. Perhaps, only with the support of the twin witches, the world that seems bound to be dominated by the dragon will usher in the dawn. Do you want to kill them, too? Red Dragon Zaka's eyes lit up. No, I just think your heart hasn't disappeared. You have to find it. Yunshi found a reason to temporarily conceal the truth that he went to see the twin witches. However, this excuse is not a lie, because he does feel the message from the green flower. Red Dragon Zaka's heart is not really completely erased, but still exists in this world. In other words, the lost heart of Red Dragon Zaka is still in the world, but it is not in her body. It was taken away by the twin witches in a special way. The flower of Lji is just a temporary substitute for the heart function of Red Dragon Zaka. If he wants Red Dragon Zaka to survive, he has to find her real heart. Well, did you notice that? Red Dragon Zaka was surprised to see Yunshi, who volunteered to find her heart. Clearly, she didn't say a word about her lost heart. Your heart, it's not going to die that easily. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka's chest. He has experienced it many times last night. Yes, I'm Zaka, the child of the great original dragon mother. It's not so easy to kill me. Red Dragon Zaka puffed up her chest and hesitated for a moment, but the twin witches are really strange. They don't look like creatures in this world at all. The way they fight is terrible. Especially when they're fighting together. At this point, Red Dragon Zaka pauses, and the vertical pupils shrink into two small dots. The feeling they gave me is they are no longer within the scope of life. No longer within the scope of life. Yunshi looks at Red Dragon Zaka in confusion, unable to understand her fearless expression. Are Red Lotus and White Lotus so scary? Yunshi has never seen Red Lotus and White Lotus fighting together, but only infers from their seeds that they are good at fighting together. It's clear at a glance that they're closer than him and Red Dragon Zaka, who are tied with the line of life, because they are real twins. From birth to now, they don't even have a second of separation time. The twin witches may be the most powerful human beings on this continent. If you want to win them, you have to attack them before they have time to react, and cut off their contact with the strongest blow. Otherwise, you will die. How strong are they? Yunshi understands how strong Red Dragon Zaka is. Her Dragon Roar wave can destroy the whole continent in 5 minutes, and this is far from her full strength. If she transforms back to the real dragon form, her power could even be stronger. In fact, his Holy Dragon Roar wave is also a forbidden skill which can only be performed with Red Dragon Zaka's vitality. It is not a field that he can enter now. They are strange. Looking back on the battle with the twin witches not long ago, the more Red Dragon Zaka thought about it, the more wrong it was. The witch in red is very powerful in swordsmanship. She should be the strongest swordsman in human beings. The witch in white doesn't seem to be good at fighting head-on, but she has a god weapon with very strong attributes. I won't be afraid of either one of them if it's a one-on-one fight. But facing them two at the same time, recalling the moment when she finally lost the battle, Red Dragon Zaka's pupil glowed with a red halo, and then projected a scene that Yunshi did not see. Look, this is what they were like then. Yunshi is engrossed in the light curtain that appears in front of Red Dragon Zaka and sees the twin witches he has never seen so far. He can see that this is from the perspective of the dragon. At this time, the sky has been ignited, and the domineering Crimson Dragon Roar wave covers almost the whole sky and is still spreading. In a deep red, a Red Lotus, dressed in a maple leaf witch costume, guards White Lotus with a sword, and her face seems to show a trace of hesitation. White Lotus opened her mouth and said something softly. Red Lotus closed her eyes and shook her head as if she didn't want to accept White Lotus's advice. White Lotus gently shakes her ring of star and moon, and countless light spots are flying out of the god weapon made by Yunshi's gift to her. The next second, the light dots turn into coordinates, summoning thousands of stars from the sky. That's exactly what Yunshi sees from the ground, the stars falling from the sky and bombarding Red Dragon Zaka's Dragon Roar wave. However, this move did not defeat the powerful Red Dragon Princess, but infuriated her. The Red Dragon Princess accelerates the attack. For a moment, the magic shield performed by Red Lotus is a little shaky, and it looks like it will break apart in the next second. At this time, Yunshi even thought that Red Dragon Zaka had a huge advantage and was only one step away from defeating the twin witches. In the world of the Dragon's War, the power shown by Red Dragon Zaka has undoubtedly reached the highest level. What can be compared with her is the Queen of Assyria under the Blood Moon. However, the Queen of Assyria seems to be restricted to some extent, but the power of Red Dragon Zaka is real and pure. At this time, White Lotus made an action. She put her own ring of star and moon gently on her sister's head, then the two face to face, 10 fingers clasped. Look carefully, this is where I feel strange. Looking back on this scene again, Red Dragon Zaka's breath suddenly becomes fast. It was totally unexpected, and it was proof that she thought it was absolutely impossible for the twin witches to be human. Behind them, the altar appeared. Step on the altar, the twin witches' bodies gradually disappeared. Next, the witch in white suddenly appears, turns around and claps at Red Dragon Zaka. In her hands, there is a golden balance. At one end of the scale is an unknown golden feather. At the other end of the scale is a beating heart. After comparing the weight of these two things, the witch in white showed a mysterious smile. At this moment, Yunshi also felt the fear of Red Dragon Zaka at that time. It can't be White Lotus, it's something else. Obviously, she has the same appearance as White Lotus and Red Lotus, but observing carefully, the clothes on the witch are different. What Red Lotus is wearing is a witch's dress with red maple leaves. White Lotus is wearing is a pure white witch's dress. The witch with the golden balance has decorations that don't belong to White Lotus or Red Lotus. That kind of decoration seems to be older. The pale gold lines of the corner of the dress presents a kind of vicissitudes of life as if it had been washed by time. Her figure also gives people a fragile and beautiful feeling that seems to disappear at any time. Holding a small gold balance, she seemed to weigh something else instead of weight. It was my heart. Red Dragon Zaka is still in a state of palpitation when she recalls the emptiness of her heart at that moment. It's not a force that she can resist. The witch in white and with golden lines on the corner of her dress is absolutely impossible to be human, or even the thing of the world. The power of the golden balance she took out completely ignored the magic and physical resistance of Red Dragon Zaka, and took her heart directly. It's like karma or fate, a force that even Red Dragon Zaka can't fight. Yunshi saw all the following things. Red Dragon Zaka fell from the sky and her dragon roar wave disappeared. The irresistible Red Dragon Princess fell into a dying state and was finally rescued by Yunshi. That which can't be human. The magic they use doesn't belong to this world. The golden balance, I'm afraid, is the weapon of the gods. Red Dragon Zaka is afraid of the last inhuman gesture of the twin witches. Probably, only my sister, Black Dragon Zaka, could resist that attack. Black Dragon Zaka. Can she do it? After witnessing the secret skill of the twin witches, Yunshi has some guesses about the power. It's the power of the god witch, and Yunshi has been in contact with a fraction of this mysterious power before. This kind of power can really attract gods. The Golden Crow Princess was called to the world by them, by this secret skill. Yes, my sister, Black Dragon Zaka is the strongest Zaka. Even in the face of the real god, she can kill God. Red has absolute confidence in Black Dragon Zaka. The unborn Black Dragon Zaka is the ultimate trump card bred as a god killer. Her power is much more terrifying than the three sisters put together. What the original giant dragon mother gave her is the most powerful deicide god weapon. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.